All right. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. Hold on. I so apologize for this. We had a lot of issues going on, but put a one in the chat if you can hear me all right. I know Salchih is here as well. Oh, the technical issues are crazy. I see everybody that was coming through. Hopefully, they left a like to Triv, Salchih, Malika, Shop Talk, The Underrated Darkness, The Broke Genius. Thank you for coming. Salchih, if you still have the link, come on through and we can get started. Yes, I had some technical issues. Yeah. It's like you never know what's going on, Aaron Collins, nameless. You never know what is going to happen nowadays. It's like we're sitting here trying to figure out why. Okay, everything is just messed up. Phone, everything. I guess this had to have happened overnight. So I'm in the car trying to do what I got to do and charge stuff up. But I'll wait until Salchih hits that link to come back if he wants to. So today the topic, as you can see, family health and relationships. And Salchih actually sent me an email recently, which is why one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this stream. Thank you for hitting that one. Nameless protagonist, how are you doing? So it's basically, I was asking him if it's okay to read the email that he sent to me, but I want to wait until he's here. What's going on, Gold Professor? Everyone coming in, please hit that like button. Share if you have not already. That is greatly appreciated. But I wanted to know if he'll come back. That'll be fine. And I just didn't want to read this out without him being here, even though he said it's okay, just out of respect to him. So family relationships is something that family health and relationships is something that he really was honest about with me. And I'm very appreciative of that. And it's funny how we just talked about this yesterday with, on Kendra's stream. We talked about some of these issues, and I think it was very productive. Shout out to her for having that stream. Here's Salchih right now. How are you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm well. Can't complain. Can't complain at all.
You said what?
I said I'm well. Can't complain. How's everything?
Everything's good now. It's just I was like, oh my gosh, because it, yeah, we having issues. Like it's 109 degrees where I am, and power outages is becoming very a norm here. And yeah, I was like, oh my God, everything, not only dealing with the technical stuff like this, the computer, the phones, and I wasn't worried about that as much as like food and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So I would say out there to though anybody, no matter where you are, please, we should have done this, but invest in a generator.
Yeah.
Please do that. But I apologize. I'm so sorry to everybody here. Salchi, if you wanted to introduce yourself first, that would be great. If you want me to read the email afterwards, I can do that as well.
Yeah. That's fine. Um, Salchih Hansford. 37. Born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island. Residing in Northern Virginia. in the finance industry, finance, real estate. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Wow, that's what's up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron just said it's 109. Yeah. So, excuse me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Go Professor. He says supporting the sane scientist. That's what's up. Thank you. I try. I'm trying to keep it together today, especially. But that's very interesting. Your field that you're in, and what's even more interesting is like I can tell from what you were saying, the emails, like that these things clearly affected you. And you mentioned something on the stream I did about Chadwick Boseman, where you said, being more honest, like more open. I think like checking in on your family and things like that.
Yeah.
Very important for us to do, especially now, and building those relationships. And I'll put the link in the chat later. Well, I'll probably email it because last time I had some issues with the chat, with the link in the chat. It was like, y'all don't even know. But yeah, the title of your email, you said Black People and Cancer. And you said, Nicole, your YouTube videos are very informative and are appreciated. Can you conduct a video dedicated to cancer amongst Black people? My grandfather died of colon cancer in 2012. My father, 62, died of prostate cancer this year. A childhood friend's mother, 37, died of cancer in 2000. And Chadwick Boseman, 45, recently died of colon cancer. I believe cancer, health in general, is a serious topic for discussion. And then you said, take care. And then, of course, your name. Thank you, Aaron Collins. I appreciate that. He said, I've missed you, Queen Nicole. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just read the email. I was like, wow, okay. I I thought it was necessary for many other reasons as well to have a discussion. That's why I'm so appreciative of, Kendra, and that she had a stream yesterday and Father's Time was there. And he was talking about men's health. But in doing so, when you talk about men's health, you're talking about everybody's health, you know? And what do you think about, um, like, I just want to ask first, what made you email that to me, you know?
My experience, I mean, I've always been into health. I mean, since I was a kid, but it's always, it's like, it seems that when you're really into health, especially when you're of our hue, you know, others kind of look at you kind of like weird, like kind of like, why are you into health? And it's like, I don't know. I mean, don't you want to be healthy? You see people dying of stuff that's fairly avoidable. So I
Yeah.
mean that always interests me even as a kid. But as I got older, I was just seeing, I saw family members dying from stuff like, like diabetes, like stuff that, as I got older, I figured that, was pretty avoidable.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, something's not right.
Yeah. Things that are avoidable. But then you have to look at it, people's culture, people's,
Hmm.
their lifestyles, and, um, having that passed down year after year, decade after decade, generation after generation, where it becomes, things that are abnormal become the norm.
Yep.
And I mean, in a nutshell, that is what cancer is. That's what it does to your body. Something that's not supposed to be there is there and grows just uncontrollably
Yeah.
until it's very difficult to treat. And that's why they talk about, especially with colon cancer in particular. And I'll say again, my condolences to those of you who have people out there that you love, those people that are in your families, you as well, Salchih, people in your family, friends that you've lost, or people who are very sick. It prevention and early detection. Very, very important.
Yeah.
And something that people fail to realize is that there are so many, when it comes to specifically colon cancer, there are so many different genes that control the emergence of that cancer and the, I guess, the growth and development of that cancer, just like any other disease. The good thing about colon cancer, for instance, is they have um, a self home test for it. Because I know
Okay.
everyone thinks that, everything is like doom and gloom. It's not. It's really not doom and gloom. There are some things that are very helpful. And one is the Cologuard. So I don't know if anyone's seen the commercials, but there is a commercial on television. You may have seen it and just, didn't really notice it, or, really think about it. But as you can see, it's Cologuard test.com. And oops, this website is very helpful because it gives you the test at home. You can do it from the safety of your home. It is effective. It can screen. The only issue I have is that it's screening adults 45 years of age or older who are at average risk.
Okay.
So they're having to probably develop a Cologuard test that would help patients that are younger than 45 now.
Yeah.
And this is as well due to the environment, changes in diet, changes in activity, things like that. But the interpretation as well here, they talk about it should be interpreted with caution. There are false negatives, false positives that can occur. And I think that it is still, even though there is a 13% chance of having a bad, result, or negative result that's not negative, or positive result that's not positive, you can take that into your doctor and let them know, like, this is what I got. Can you do a follow up on me and see what happens from there? Because at least you have, 13% risk of having it negative or positive when it's not negative or positive is very, very low,
Yeah.
compared to a lot of other tests that are out there, compared to the tests that we actually do. So 13% is, and it's new. So you're going to have some margin of error. And I think as more people use the Cologuard test, and what you do with the test is they give you the kit and everything at home. You have to take a stool sample of your own, put it into a container, seal it up with, I think they give you a barcode, you seal it up, you send it back in in a labeled envelope or a labeled container box, and you send that box back to the address that's there already. So they're doing diagnostics on your sample, your
Okay.
stool sample, and they're looking to use this for other cancers. So it's not all doom and gloom. There are options out there. One thing I will say when it comes to colon cancer, again, as I said earlier, there are you can be genetically predisposed to this particular cancer. So if we speak specifically about um, colon cancer, or really, I would say specifically about cancer in general, because I think that's what you were saying in the email, is just cancer in general.
Yeah.
We have to look at what we're doing, what is happening. Our environment is changing. Um, the things that we're doing are putting a lot of stress on our bodies, and that stress, they've shown inflammation and stress does lead to lesions, which then can proliferate to cancer if not detected early, if you're not going to your doctor consistently, if you're not, and I've noticed this with men more than women. You have a pain or some type of, just a chronic pain. It might not be a lot, but it's like a small pain in your back or your leg or your foot or something. You just ignore it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to say something like, "Hey, you know, I need to get this looked at. I need to figure out what's going on here." And don't ignore it. Like, we have little pains here and there. Don't ignore it. Don't say, "I'm gonna take some ibuprofen and go to bed." No. You need it, like, if it's there longer than, for me, my rule of thumb, if it's longer there, if it's there longer than 3 days, it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know. But what do you think about what I was just saying with the Cologuard and some of the other things that I was mentioning?
Well, I haven't heard of it. I'm definitely gonna look into it. I think it sounds like a good idea. Personally, I think I think medicine and health is really, especially with telemedicine. I think it's really gonna go big with tech, especially you're seeing with the iWatch and stuff like that. And I saw this happening like some 10 years ago. I'm surprised it's taking this long, where you're probably gonna put on goggles and they'll be able to read your eyes and see if stuff's going on. Obviously, they'll be able to take your temp, and maybe
Mhm.
you'll be able to insert something into your skin, who what have you, and they can read it from a lab and or at the office. That's why I see medicine going. Um, Personally. But to me, the biggest thing is the environment. What you're consuming. Overall. The stress, the types of food you're eating. Where you live. I think those are the biggest factors. Clearly, because we're seeing that has been changing, especially since we started spraying crops. What? Yeah, I think it was the
Yeah,
40s or the 50s,
DDT and stuff. Yeah.
and we really started seeing like cancer, diabetes, all these things. Like, I mean, it literally shot through the roof from that point on in this country. So clearly, I mean, I think that's something to look at. That's just me.
Yeah. What's going on, Bishop? What's going on, Tone Malone? Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. And I also wanted to say, yeah, like with and other people have mentioned this with DDT. You had
Yeah,
DEET. You have what was it? What's the company they have?
Monsanto's.
Monsanto. And I did a video about that. I actually got cut off while I was trying to do the stream, but that was a while back, and I was like, "What?" Like, it just cut off,
That's a big
and
company. Very powerful.
I was like, "What's going on here?" Like, I'm just telling the truth. Like, it's on your website, you know. But they're like, "We don't want y'all reading. Y'all can't be reading. If you
Nah,
read, you can't be showing people what you're reading." I'm like, "Come on."
nah. Black
It
folks
was
aren't supposed to be
crazy,
reading.
huh?
Said black folks aren't supposed to be reading.
Right, right. Oh, thank you, Bishop Red Pill. He said, "Showing love to my favorite scientist." I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, y'all not supposed to be reading. Y'all not supposed to be figuring out what's going on here. And one thing I notice is, see, when we look at it from a certain perspective, and that's one thing I want Black people to get out of. Other people, they do what they do, whatever. But
Yeah,
with us, I want us to get out of, if we can, and it's a process. It takes time, of being very critical of those of us who are in the field who do this every day, because my job in a nutshell is to analyze patterns. That's
yeah.
what it is.
That's
I
what a
analyze
scientist is.
patterns. Hmm?
That's what a scientist is.
Yeah. You're an analyst of patterns, and you see where things are very similar, depending on not even depending. You see where things are similar from one cancer to another, from one disease to another. Where, like I said earlier, with the different genes, there are several genes that are specific to colon cancer. But as it progresses, when other genes begin to be expressed at very high levels, they're also seen in other parts of the body at very high levels. So I'm going to share my screen again. I won't be, I'll try to look at the screen at the same time on my phone here as I'm sharing this. Let me go here, go back. Okay, so here is what I was talking about. Hopefully you can see this.
Yeah.
Kind of blow it up a little bit. Move that over. So this is from this is not GlaxoSmithKline, what Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, established in 1884. Memorial Sloan Kettering is very, very popular. Everybody knows of Sloan Kettering, SK. And they have a section on this website, and I'll copy the link and put it in later. But it is inherited risk for colorectal cancer. I want us to understand that although, yes, you do have effects from your environment, the issue that we're having when studying these things is the clash between the inherited risk that you have and the environment's impact. That's the thing. So when you have these genetic mutations, for instance, you may not have colon cancer to develop until you're in your 80s or maybe your 70s because your environment has not prepped your body for that those genes to be expressed or for those genes to be mutated, for
Yep.
instance, right? But you could also have these gene mutations, and the environment allows the colorectal cancer to develop and spread, and to get bigger. Because if you think about the anatomy, the physiology of the colon, you're not going to spread too much at first. It takes time for the tumor to build up to the point where that organ cannot hold that tumor, and then it will literally burst out. The cells burst out of that organ and go elsewhere through the body via the bloodstream.
Yeah.
So they say here that there are two subtypes of hereditary colon cancer: familial adenomatous polyposis, excuse me, y'all, FAP, and there's also Lynch syndrome. So Lynch syndrome is a lot of times what I hear about, where they're talking about patients and stuff, and then they come down and they give all those different syndromes and whatnot their names. They give genetic testing for colorectal cancer. There's different genes that you usually get screened for: the MLH1, MSH2, APC, MSH6, PMS2, and MUTYH mutations. Now, the last one, MUTYH, is very popular. A lot of people do research on this gene. So, if you want to know more about this gene, you can literally go to NCBI and type this gene in. And NCBI is the like where you look at biotech stuff. You can look at research. You can link it to clinical trials and whatnot. But they'll show you all the different mutations of different patients for that gene. That's the major one they're going to be looking at. APC as well, but a lot of times APC is just a standard for a lot of cancers out there. But yeah, this is a wealth of knowledge right here. Another thing, so I'll leave this link in the chat in a minute. Another thing is a paper. We'll go to the top. A paper that was done, published 2009, genetic testing for hereditary colorectal cancer. And they talk about Lynch syndrome and polyposis, which is where they're looking for polyps and things like that. And they also give, this is a tracking, um, like a flow chart that they would use when you come to the doctor. They ask a question: is there presence of more than 10 polyps? If the answer is yes, then they go to histologic subtype of polyps, where they actually have to take a biopsy and do staining of the genes I just mentioned to determine if you have expression of those genes in your colon, of those polyps.
Okay.
Because a polyp is something that overgrowth out of the, like a lesion or a sore that's growing out of the colon that could be cancerous,
Yeah.
right? So yes, you'd have to do a colonoscopy and things like that. They have what the doctor should do if the answer is no. If you have less than 10, then no. Then they come here and they work to diagnose you. And here's that gene again. They work to diagnose you with one of these, and you don't see any other lines under here because the treatments for these have been established. The problem is if you have high expression of those genes I was talking about, now they break you down into hamartomatous or adenomatous two different groups. This gene shows up again, and the FAP shows up again, you know. So a lot of drugs are being used to probably target this particular gene. Because I notice when genes pop up over and over, there's a drug out there somewhere either being developed or being put on the market to help block this gene. And what that does, hopefully, is shut down the colon cancer growth. Shut it down, so that it would, and that hopefully wouldn't have any issues with, wouldn't cause you to have any like major side effects or negative side effects.
Yeah.
But shut that gene expression down, and any other gene related to that gene will be shut down. So, do you have any comments about what I've shown so far?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go chat.
Uh, to me, my biggest thing is exactly what you said is the environment, turning on and turning off certain genes. Um, my biggest question is, are we, are you guys, obviously the scientists, really looking at the environment? I'm sure it's got to be daunting on what is, turning on certain genes or, well, certain cancers or diseases. I can only imagine, like, how hard would that be?
Yeah. So you're asking, how hard is it for us to do that? I was trying to.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. How hard? It's not hard for us to do that at all. Greetings, excuse me, greetings, BGS. How you doing, Master Teacher? Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. West Coast, what's going on? Yeah, it's not hard for us to do that. The problem is that you can't, yeah, you can't knock out genes in humans,
Yeah.
um, because you don't know how that would affect other genes that
Yeah.
could be beneficial for the person to survive. For instance, I'm a patient and you're a patient, and that gene I was just talking about is for you very critical for some other functions, and we just say, okay, let's knock it out, and then you have heart problems.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not as critical for me because I have a lot of mutations of that gene.
Yeah.
And some people think that mutations occur to help drive the species along or to keep the gene intact, to keep it functioning properly. Sometimes mutations are literally called nonsense mutations. They don't make any sense,
Okay.
or missense mutations. And for me, maybe that gene has a lot of nonsense mutations. So if I lost it, it wouldn't hurt me either way, you know.
Yeah.
But so that's why we can't just, knock genes out or knock genes down in humans. If we use a drug, or some type of antibody that would bind to that protein from that gene, and once it binds to that protein, it's inactivated. Now you're in a different, you just have to work with the specificity of that drug,
Okay.
so or that antibody that you're using. So it's different. The gene is still there, it's being
Yeah.
produced,
You're not
but
eliminating it.
you're eliminating it over time.
Yeah.
Eliminating it once, it's like, okay, we eliminated it,
Anything
but
could happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything, exactly. You're right. Anything could happen. And if you're genetically predisposed, they're not gonna, no, that's too drastic
Yeah.
for anybody to deal with. And I wanted to say that there are other genes that are related to neuroendocrine profile, and the neuroendocrine profiles have been identified in colon cancer, lung cancer, certain brain cancers, specifically prostate cancer,
Yeah.
breast cancer. So these are very painful cancers and very slow growing cancers. The only one that's fast growing that I have looked at in terms of the gene I'm about to mention is colon cancer,
Okay.
which is chromogranin A. So the neuroendocrine profile, which means you have cells that require hormone
Oh,
regulation
yep.
to look like nerve cells.
Hmm.
The hormones are not working how they're supposed to. And these cells start to look like nerve cells under the microscope. They look like nerve cells genetically, meaning that when I do PCR, when I do a Western blot on to look at the proteins, when I look at them under the microscope with fluorescence, and I stain them with or I change antibodies, or where these antibodies are specifically nerve antibodies. When I buy the antibodies, I'm going to the nerve section of the store online, where we buy our
Yeah.
antibodies. And I'm like, okay, neurology. Let me look at the neurology department. They have find an antibody, and I use that and stain my prostate cancer cells. They are not supposed to have expression of nerve genes.
Hmm.
But when they are aggressive, they do express genes that are specific for your nervous system. That is a problem because once prostate cancer cells, breast, colon, lung, these are epithelial cells, the
Yeah.
cells that make up, the organ itself. They
Yeah.
are not supposed to be looking
Doing
like
anything.
nerve cells about to swim away.
Yeah.
you know? But
So,
they do.
so my quick question is, because estrogen does regulate hormones. Now, that would that be like a baseline marker of something possibly going wrong?
Estrogen is a hormone, but it is regulated by a lot of different changes that may or may not be hormone related.
Oh, okay.
So, estrogen is not the only one. You have estrogen, prolactin, you have progesterone, testosterone, several types of testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, dihydroxytestosterone, uh, does I think I forgot the name of it, testosterone. There's a lot of different testosterone, different forms of testosterone
Okay.
as a hormone. Hormones, lipid being a lipid based molecule, based the primary subunit of it or building block of it would be cholesterol,
Yeah.
right? Which I mentioned yesterday with on Kendra Stream, cholesterol being the basic building block to all these different hormones that you have,
Hormones.
and if you're a person, the other issue is age.
Yeah.
Age is a just like with COVID-19, age is a risk factor
Yeah.
for a lot of the cancers that we're talking about. And so when you mentioned the ages of people, I was like, yep, that I see that. I see those patients. Yes, I see that, you know. But the issue with the 37-year-old, I was like, okay, something's not right there. That sounds like more of a predisposition. You had some genetic marker that was not supposed to be expressed at that time, because no matter who you are, where you're from, over time, by the time you're in your 80s or 90s, if you don't develop cancer, they're going to be studying you because you're going to have some kind of cancer more than likely,
Yeah.
maybe not detected because of the environment you're in.
Mhm.
The problem is, like we said, the issue is really prevention, knowing what
Yeah.
you're looking at, knowing that you have this predisposition from your genetics. This is what you can do to offset that if necessary. That's how I look at it. And the other thing was the gene I was talking about. Let me go to that.
The MUTYH, that
That
baseline.
one, but there's another one that's very
Okay.
important because that one I've looked it up and I was like, you know what? It's literally like thousands of articles. I said, I ain't about to go through all this. So I hope that y'all definitely will look through that link I just put in the chat earlier, because I'm telling you, you look that particular gene up and look up um there's I'm sure there's trials on it. Clinicaltrials.gov, type that gene name in and see if you can find anything, because there will be stuff on that gene and colon cancer. They're, I'm sure, working on some kind of treatment for that. And when I look at something and it's like tons of articles, like thousands of articles, I'm like, okay, for me, for my job, that's not something I'll be running after because it's so popular,
Yeah.
and I want to see what other genes. So one other gene that they discussed in a few papers I was looking at. Now I've read, I have to admit, I read like 5 of the papers, but 1,000,
It's too much.
I ain't about to do that. 1,000, I was like, "Oh, no." I was like, "I can't." But this has another gene I was just mentioning. So chromogranin A is a gene, close to my heart because I work with it like every other day. And it is one of those genes that for prostate cancer patients, because we have to remember the colon and the prostate, even though prostate cancer cells don't metastasize to the colon, a lot of men who are older do we notice they do have some colon lesions. They have polyps, they have lesions, as well as prostate cancer.
Okay.
Okay, we notice that patients who are older with one form of cancer, it does affect the liver as well, and it affects the colon and the kidneys and things like that. So this gene, chromogranin A, as you can see on the article, the title is it is an expression as a novel biomarker for early diagnosis of colon cancer patients. So this gene works in two ways. In one way, in prostate cancer, if you have chromogranin A expressed, that means you are bad off as a prostate cancer patient.
Yeah.
You have probably failed a lot of treatments. You haven't done that well. And chromogranin A is just going up, up, up. You probably have metastasis. However, in colon cancer, when you have early diagnosis, the expression of chromogranin A is high. So it's interesting how these genes are. I don't know if this is what you were alluding to earlier, but it's interesting how these genes have different functions in different parts of your body.
Now
And I'm
with
trying to.
my now with my grandfather, he actually had prostate cancer initially. I mean, I don't know the full story. Um,
Mhm.
he had that initially, and then from what I was told, I can't say that he recovered or anything like that, but it didn't, at least from the family, it didn't seem like it was an issue anymore. And then
Mm.
like some time later, all of a sudden he has colon cancer, and it's like, when did we find out? Was he already stage 3 or 4? I think it's probably 4, because I think it was 4. And then of course once it hit 4, it started spreading like crazy and went all over the place. And
Yeah,
it was a wrap.
it's spread.
Yeah. So the colon cancer was
Yeah.
fast. The prostate cancer, it seemed like maybe he did recover from it. Maybe he took care of it, because it wasn't like the time frame, they weren't close.
Yeah, it had already because by the time we or by the time they were able to like give you like, hey, this is the stage he's at right now, by that time it was already gone. Like it had left
Yeah.
the organ. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to come down. I'm trying to find the one figure that I think is important because this actually helps because what they'll do when you go, I don't know if they did this for you, but here it is. For my um family member that I had, this was years ago, with breast cancer, they actually gave us something like this, like it was listed, and I went and found this type of string network, and there's literally a website called String Database. So if you want to find this, for instance, KRAS, it has a lot of mutations in cancer. TP53 is a tumor suppressor. It has a lot of mutations in cancer. Chromogranin A, also, as we were saying earlier, this is the gene that they say is high, and it helpful for them when trying to diagnose early stage, right? And I
Okay.
hope that people, let's see, I'll just go to string.
And that's a chronogranin A, correct?
Chromogranin A, yes.
Okay.
So if you go to string database, you can Google this, and then it's string-db.org, and you go to string. This helps you to see where these genes link up because they may give you like this long spiel of like all these different genes. You're like, I don't know what this means, or enzymes or proteins. Like, I don't know what this means. So you can easily look up these proteins and see it says you can do the protein by the name, by sequence, multiple proteins. So I'm going to do multiple proteins and just put the genes that we had there, KRAS and TP53, right?
Yep.
If you have the file, this is why I get things emailed to me from my physicians, myself personally. And I said, yeah, I need you to email me that in a PDF. And so if I had it in PDF, I could click here, browse, upload the file where it
Okay.
would have all of the different organisms, not, excuse me, not organisms, different enzymes and I'm reading the word organism. It would have the different enzymes, proteins, genes that I need to type in here, and I really wouldn't have to type it. I just upload it, and then it'll find them.
Figure it out.
Then you click
Okay.
search. I put organism Homo sapiens. If I wanted to search mouse, I could do that. Whatever. And then it's asking you, is this the gene you're looking for? Chromogranate A. It was in the paper, right? Chromogranate A. KRAS is here. They give other genes that are related, but that's not what I'm looking for. TP53, this is a tumor antigen P53. It is a tumor suppressor. It's supposed to stop growth arrest, or apoptosis, which is cell death.
Okay.
It's supposed to kill the cells, but it is mutated in cancer. And so the cells are not dying, they're growing faster. As you
Yeah.
come here, you click continue. And don't worry if you spell it wrong. If you spell it wrong, it'll tell you, hey, you spelled it wrong. And you go back and fix it. And then they'll suggest things to you. So as far as I can tell, and maybe I'm blind, I don't know, but this looked like the same picture they published.
Yeah.
This is the
Identical.
picture from the article. This is the picture from the string database.
Yeah.
They just copied and pasted this. So they actually have little bubbles, and the line means that these three genes interact with each other. They have a lot to do with each other, not just in cancer, but in general.
Yeah.
And if you click on any of the genes, it gives you everything you need to know. It gives you all these links down here. You can go to reference sequence. It'll give you the sequence. It'll give you uniprot. It gives you all these little things. This is a protein crystal structure of the protein. So
Okay.
there's red alpha helices in here and stuff. But it's very helpful to know what it is. I'm going to click this and copy that as well. What it is you're looking at. Because when my grandmother had issues, and I had the auntie years ago that had issues like, typing in all those genes, like these genes here, they typed all these genes into string, and this is the interaction they gave them.
Okay.
So when it's red or pink or, all this, that means they're highly interacting with each other in this particular cancer set they're looking at. But I wish I would have had a lot of this information at that time,
Yeah.
you know, just to be like more astute when I have to go talk to people to
Yeah.
understand like, hey, like, is this what you really are going to do? And why are you doing this? Things like that. So hopefully the things I'm doing, and this is not going to be the last time, of course, that I'll talk about this. There's just a lot more that I hope that Black people that we're being more, curious about what's happening instead of like, I ain't trusting those doctors. I ain't doing this. Okay, well, if you don't go to the doctor, then it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot in a way, because like if you're not going to the doctor or trying to figure out what's going on, and then getting upset when something really serious is happening, who do you have to blame?
Yeah, that right there that's one of the
Mhm.
biggest things that I've seen, growing up, even up until now. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's only certain people. It was either that or Jesus. And it's like, and even as a kid, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Hmm. Because if you have someone that, like for me, I've said before, like, okay, I ask a lot of questions. And myself, when I'm in the physician's office, I'm asking questions like, okay, what does this mean? Something's wrong with you, and you're going there to find out,
Yeah.
you're really going there for confirmation.
Yeah.
And you're like, and some people even they will say, well, I had a pain in my leg, but the doctor didn't catch it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Like, what? Why you say that? What's going on, Hostile Adept? What's going on, AM? I was like, why'd you even tell me that? And they're like, oh man, I should have told you. I said, yeah, because I'm gonna drag your ass back in there. And they're like,
Yeah,
why I tell you?
exactly.
Why I tell you? I was like, you shouldn't have said that. And they were like, they didn't catch this. Had a pain in my back, and they didn't catch it. I'm like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I said, so why did you go anyway? I went for a basic checkup. I was like, you need to probably go to like a specialist or something, man. Come on.
Exactly.
And they were like, I don't trust them. It's a, palm colored doctor. I was like, there's so many doctors that look like us that you can go to. And now,
Exactly.
like you said earlier, like you said earlier with the telemedicine, things are getting so much more digital, online now,
Yeah.
where there's a record of your interaction with the physician, for instance. And like if it's a Zoom or something, you can record that,
Yeah.
and have that, you never know. You might need it for malpractice later on. Who knows? I don't know. You need it
Exactly.
as a record. That's your health record. We didn't have that back in the day, you know. It's okay. And one said, "What about doctors who specifically talk about other doctors who perpetuate medical fraud? Doctors who specifically talk about, I don't know. Okay, doctors who perpetuate. Um, we gonna get you out of here, Sleepy Joe. I don't really care about. Yeah, I don't care about it. He said doctors who perpetuate. There are doctors who perpetuate medical fraud, and the ones who talk about them, I'm not sure. Um, talk about others because that's something that is not. I don't know how that pertains to this particular subject, but yeah,
I mean,
I
you would lose your license anyway, or at least
yeah, that's what
get
I'm saying.
suspended
Like,
or lose your license. So I mean, it's it's not something that's really prevalent for
yeah,
the most part.
you could probably, if he's talking about people who are talking about those who perpetuate fraud, they can talk about them if they want. If they talk a little too much, they're gonna end up in court when that
Yeah.
person is getting, their license taken and everything.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But as far as them, talking about those who perpetuate medical fraud, because medical fraud is a very broad term. That's another
Yeah.
thing.
Hmm.
Medical fraud can, touch you at very, very specific levels, like from like a technician all the way up to a surgeon.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna put I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I don't know why this dude Sleepy Joe. I don't know where you coming from. Take that mess somewhere else. We ain't even talking about that. I'm gonna put it in here. If it's some trolls, then I'll just deal with it. Um, if anybody wants to come up and holler at us, I really haven't been appreciating this conversation that we're having. Everybody in the chat, remember to hit that like button. I hope that what I'm showing is helpful to some
Oh,
people
now
because, huh? Go ahead.
I had a question. Now, what do you think about tests for your genetics or your DNA, and having that read by like a doctor or a functional physician? Like, what is your opinion about that?
About them testing your DNA.
Yes, to see what's going, to see
Um,
what you have, to see what expressions are there. I mean, you can use that obviously for health reasons, but also to, as we were speaking about earlier, to see if there's certain gene expressions that are prevalent in your profile.
yeah, it's very helpful. Um,
Okay.
the problem with it is the like issues that AM1 just said, medical fraud, also insurance fraud and insurance scandals and things like that. Security information, securing that information that they have obtained from patients. We have HIPAA for that. We have a lot of
Yeah.
different federal regulations on that. But yes, a citizen getting their DNA checked in that way. I thought you were talking more about genealogy, but for a medical
Yeah. That's
reason,
medical.
yes, definitely
Yeah.
it's a good thing to have that. Particularly a lot of palm colored people from Europe who don't know if they're related.
Yeah.
They
Oh
get
yeah.
those things done. They get a haplotype test done. They also get the genetic testing done for different mutations specific to certain diseases and whatnot. So yes, I definitely would say that's a good thing. Um, we have Aaron Collins, the real Aaron Collins here. I'm gonna bring him up real quick
Okay.
as well.
What's going on,
I,
Nicole? How you doing, love? I haven't seen you in about 20 years.
yeah, it's been about 25 years, man. How's it going?
I'm holding up. What's going on, brother? On the panel.
How you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really good topic about black health. I guess said recently, I lost my sister. I've actually lost about four relatives of mine due to health
Oh, wow.
reasons, and as black people, we're not as proactive about our health, and I'm including myself in that too. But this is really an eye opener. This is something to awaken, and especially if you saw what I last put in the chat, that the medical industry has historically and presently been very racist toward African Americans. They don't diagnose us correctly. They give us these half-ass resources, and they say that, oh, your issue is not that severe. You
Right.
just wait here in the lobby, whatever, and stuff like that. And I've heard of stories about how black women who've actually gone in with some issues, and they left her sitting out in the lobby, and she just died in the lobby because she
Mhm.
wasn't given the proper health when she needed it.
Mhm.
To add to that, I think the issue is a lot of people don't have what like they don't have regular insurance, that they're paying for to begin with, or they have a half-ass insurance that doesn't cover a lot or enough, and they get into these situations and they're just tolerating subpar service across the board. I mean, I personally never went through any of that kind of stuff, but I have heard, and I do understand, and I see why that does happen. It's unexcusable, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and I definitely need to getting the insurance, the insurance myself. I mean, I believe it's probably more systemic and even mental when it comes to us. We just have this natural fear of the doctor or something. It's probably a holdover from slavery. What do you
Well,
think?
I agree with that. I have
Hmm.
also, y'all are just touching on points that I that I was reading about. It's funny how when I come on these streams, you all have points that I looked up previous to even starting the stream. So if you saw earlier, I had all these tabs up here for a
Yeah.
reason. And this is kind of what you're touching on. So there was this article put out in 2017. It's based on a book written by Damon Tweedy, MD, called Black Man in a White Coat, where he reflects on race and medicine. And this is kind of going to what you're saying, Aaron, and it's indirect, but there's a more direct story behind what you were saying. I think there is a fear of the medical industry, and in some cases, rightfully so, based on experience. And also, when someone is afraid, sometimes they may have the inclination to exaggerate, but either way, exaggerate an experience. But either way, you can't say the experience wasn't scary for them at that time. When if it was a child or a young person, you can't say that wasn't scary for them, right?
Yeah.
And and just being in an environment where I've had people to say, like, when they come to the hospital, they feel afraid when they see so many people with white coats on.
Uh,
I'm like,
Mhm.
why do you feel that way? I had a white coat on at the time when I said it, but I was like, well, why do you feel that way? And it felt weird saying that. But I was like, well, why do you feel that way? And they were like, I just feel like like you're gonna hurt me. I was like, wow. I'm smiling. I had my mask on at the time. They couldn't tell I was smiling, but I said I am smiling under this mask. And I have to wear this for my protection as well,
yeah.
today, just today because of the area I'm in. But I'm not going to try to hurt you or, do anything to you or anything like that. But this actually goes into a lot of detail about that idea that you're going to be hurt. And because I talked to Jade about this offline, and I want us to have more confidence and have more knowledge, background knowledge before we go in to the doctors
Yeah.
offices. More knowledge of, like I said earlier, why are you there? Why are you going? And don't think that
Hmm.
you won some kind of prize, some invisible prize because you walked out and the doctor didn't catch something that you really were ailing from. You're
Right.
doing yourself you doing yourself a disservice by doing that. So I'll leave these links in the description box, or I'll put them in the chat later while y'all are talking. Um, and then we come to, like you mentioned, slavery, Aaron. So the father of gynecology, Dr. J. Marion Sims, and his vesicovaginal fistula treatments, he did this on slave women who were enslaved. It's
Mm.
black women.
Yep.
So it's further contributes to a lot of the fear that people
Yeah.
have. But at that time, most of us, as we know, couldn't read.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
You know,
at the same time too, we've always been also used as the scapegoats and the guinea pigs. I mean, come on, Tuskegee. That's
yes,
like the best
Yep.
example. I
yes,
mean, they use black men as an incubator for a virus, which they didn't even tell them that they had. And then they told them they were going to use them for something and then tell them what it was for. I
Yep.
mean,
right,
wow.
yeah. And that was, see, that I was gonna get to that. That was later after. That was when we were considered citizens and human beings.
Exactly.
Right.
So what I was just mentioning with Dr. J. Marion Sims from Lancaster, South Carolina, is 1830s, 1840s, you know, way back when we were not considered human beings. So you consider human beings, and then they're like, oh, but we can still do this mess to you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
And so, like now, at this point in 2020, when you still see similar instances of this, that's why I'm trying to do a stream to, this is just my attempt to help empower you all. Like if you get this report from your doctor that says you have these particular proteins, and these proteins are up, these proteins are down, they hope that you're not going to understand what it is.
Yeah.
But you can empower yourself. Look this up. You have a computer in your hand or in your pocket every
Exactly.
day, so you can empower yourself. Now I can direct you to where to look. Like, okay, this is what you need to look for. This is the search engine where you can look for these genes. Look at what they did. Look at the tissue samples. Don't be afraid to look at the tissues that they took from patients and stained and did these different things, because you don't know, if you are ignoring the information out there, that might be your tissue in somebody's publication
Yeah.
next. And I'm gonna tell you something. If more than likely, I would say 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, if a patient's tissue is in my publication or anybody else's publication, you're dead.
Yeah.
That's the only way I got your tissue. You're dead. And I'm not blaming the patients for that, because they may be in the same boat that a lot of us are in, don't know which way to go, don't know who to ask. Watching my content that's science and tech related, watching Black Brain Trust, watching Dr. Anwar Dunbar, and even a lot of BGS's work, when he talking about science and tech and stuff, very important. You know,
Mhm.
we have to get into the mode of reading about these things. And like I said earlier, it was like over 1,000 articles. I wasn't about to read all that for y'all. I'm sorry. But but I will
I'm
read
glad
like
to.
five, and look through there and see, hey, what are they doing here? And I picked things very like strategically. I picked a study that was done 2019, one that was done 14, one that was done like 2009, maybe 2003. I'm going like 5 or 6 years, gaps, right? Because you can see how the technology has advanced and how patient care has advanced too,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of times. But I just want to one moment say thank you to MLR. He said for the Cash App, he said for your scientific research. I appreciate that. And DS1 said $5 here for your collection plate. Thank you so much, DS1. She stay asleep. I appreciate that, y'all. I wanted to let you all say what was on your mind too. If you have anything you wanted to say.
I mean, for me personally, I mean, I guess to me, this type of space is very normal.
Hmm.
And a lot of times, I guess I kind of get caught into it. So when I go into the quote unquote regular world, it's like, for lack of words, like I gotta dumb myself down to talk. I mean, this is across the board. This is any kind of race, because people apparently, again, people don't like to read, and then health, people are just like afraid of it. It's like they kind of just want it to be taken care of magically for whatever
Yeah.
reason. And unfortunately, especially amongst our folks, for whatever reason. So a lot of times I got to tone myself down, because to me it's like, I eat healthy. Like today I went to the gym, and like after the
Mhm.
gym, I soak, get my Epsom salt. I mean, I'm 37, but like I do all these things, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's just normal to me. But to other people, it's like it's too hard. It's too much work.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like, all right.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
a lot of times it's hard, tough love. You have to stop being so lazy about things. And, people might laugh. Yes, I have my little planner from CVS and I write everything in there. I write my notes in there. I write everything in there I need to do. For me as a woman, it just keeps me very organized on, what needs to be done. When I'm a visual learner, but I'm tactile.
Yeah.
So I can see things and remember it pretty well. But if I want to be, better than pretty well, I need to write it down and I can see, hand to paper, like I write it down and it's like I can see what I wrote. That's better for me to remember. Like it's two ways of remembering it for me. And I put stuff in my planner like you need to do this, you need to do that. I set alarms. Everybody got all these apps and all this mess. Okay, you got alarms for when you need to go to go to the club or whatever. Well, maybe not the club. Go out with this gal you just met at the mall or
Yeah.
McDonald's or something. But okay, but you ain't even like setting an alarm to go work out and set an alarm to beginning of the workout and set alarm at the end of the workout because you don't want to overwork yourself, right? You
Yeah.
can't do that. Like these are simple things. And you're right, Salchie. Like it's like the baseline of that is laziness and not having those having that routine type of mindset, and
Yeah,
where like you have to do this. Everybody gets 24 hours in a day.
Hmm.
yep,
You use your 24 hours how you need to use them in the best way possible to make you better.
yep. And I want to, yeah, you all are hitting on some really good notes here.
Mhm.
And like the most that I work out is I'll usually get out and go for a walk. I'm out in these streets every day anyway, going to work. Most workout I get is walking, and I guess you could say I'm in pretty good health. Because I can walk up a storm. I mean, sometimes I've even gone to Griffith Park. And Nicole knows I'm talking about
Oh
Griffith
yeah.
Park, and walked up in those mountains up in there.
Hmm.
I've done walked up in those trails, and I do that, and I'm like, man, to be my age, I can still do this. I don't take that for granted. I mean, I'm not like big up and huffy like, yeah, I'm so healthy. I'm not doing that, but at the same time, I'm very thankful for that,
Yeah.
for my health, and it's a lot more I could do. I'm going to eventually get into to the weights and stuff like that. I'm not trying to be a big old buff roid monster or nothing like that, but
Yeah.
something cut and tone, something
Right.
nice. And besides, the human
Yeah.
body was never really designed to carry that much mass. No way, but that's another conversation altogether.
Exactly.
um, I
Yeah.
mean,
I know everybody
but
can't
yeah,
be Charles Faulkner. I have to remind myself of that. But
Too much work.
I'm glad we're having this talk. I mean, I wish Black YouTube. I hate to use that terminology, the Black sector, but I wish the Black sector YouTube would talk more on this instead of this silly ass gender war stuff that's going on and
yeah.
stuff like that.
And
I
so
mean, I get
that's an
tired
important
of that.
topic to bring up because for me, a lot of it, and that's another side of the health is the mental health. I didn't get into that when I was talking about Dr. Sims, um, his evil ass, but he's supposed to be the father of gynecology. I just couldn't imagine the mental stress that caused on those women, and they had no agency, to fight back or anything because they were property.
Yeah.
Nowadays you're not in that situation, but you're gender warring. That has so much effect on people mentally and like psychologically. It is hurtful, and sometimes people probably feel like, dang, my brain hurts, from dealing with this mess. And
Yeah.
I understand that. You have to like take a break from it if you can, like avoid it at all costs if you can. But if you have to consume it, then maybe switch it up a little. because how is that, how is that helpful to you? You have to ask
Yeah.
yourself questions. And even those who are in the middle of it, how is it how is it helping them? If you contributed to that conversation, would it help anyone there? Um, and yeah, BGS is true. He's right. He said it's bigger than Black YouTube is bigger than the Manosphere. That's very true. There are a lot of other things going on. There are other scientists out here, female scientists. I notice a
Yeah.
lot of female scientists are not in my field specifically. They are coders, they're in tech, and they are like in cybersecurity and things like that. But they
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
female, and there are a lot of Black male scientists as well. Not in my field specifically, but a lot of them that I have come into contact with on here are, once again, they're in tech, they're coding, they're traveling a lot. But yeah, even there you have it's not as open. I
Yeah.
would say with a lot of the
It's
sciences, the
it's
gender
it's
work thing is not as open as it is here, I think. But go ahead.
it's we're considered the bourgeoisie elites,
Mhm.
condescending
Right.
Yep.
amongst the. I mean, that's how they look, and it's like, bro, if I felt that I was better than you, bro, or sister, I wouldn't be telling you stuff that's beneficial to you. Does that make any
Yep.
sense? It's like, it's just,
Yeah.
to me, it's just so
Right.
weird. Like, how are you taking that? I wouldn't waste my time. And like, you get upset. Sometimes I don't get upset anymore, but it's like you're looking at me like, why would I waste my time? Like, that doesn't even cross my mind until you just said that. Like, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you? Like, how are you formulating that? Or I
Right.
You're
mean,
more
it's
accepted.
it's easy. It's easier with the guys nowadays as I'm getting older, but it's still like hard with Black women. It's like they get hostile, and it's like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm not even like judging you like
You-
that. I'm quite literally caring about, like, I'm talking about your health. I'm not talking about your looks, and I'm talking about your health and your
Yeah.
longevity. And you're like
Exactly.
trying to
So
kill me.
exactly. I mean, you're more
Yeah.
accepted, and you'll be more accepted if you're saying, "Oh, black women are bitches, and black women
Oh yeah.
and black men and black men ain't shit and stuff." You need to get you a white man, and you get more accepted in that. You get more accepted talking about pulling up on someone and who turning up and all that stuff
It's
right there. That's more exciting to our people and stuff instead of
exactly. It's
yeah.
so bad that
Yeah.
Black women would say, "Well, oh, I guess you only date like white women," and it's like, okay, like when I was younger, I didn't get it, but now I get it, and it's like they
Yeah.
kind of look at you like, again, like you're uppity or elite, and it's like it's not even like I've never even dated a white girl, so
Or
it's
you're
like
not fitting
because
into the paradigm. You're not fitting into
yeah,
that
that's right,
structure.
Yeah. Exactly.
that's right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
it's
fitting
crazy,
Me.
the structure that they expect you to fit into, and so
yeah.
then you're seen as an outcast or a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
you're
know.
articulate. You go to the gym. You eat healthy. What is wrong with you?
I mean,
Like,
You read?
me and Sophie,
what is this man
hey,
doing?
hey, Nicole, me and Sophie, we're not only here talking about going our own way and saving ourselves
No.
and divesting, as the new word is. As a matter of fact, speaking of tech, I just thought of something. There's that term that they use called red pill.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't have that terminology if it wasn't in fact, for a black woman named Sophia Stewart, who came up with the idea that they stole, called the Matrix, which she won
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
lawsuit. Thank God. So, well, they wouldn't even have those terms if it wasn't for that work.
Hmm.
If you really look at it in hindsight.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot there. I mean, I see what you're saying. There's a lot of literature, a lot of different things that came before she was even born that didn't necessarily say red pill. Red pill is just I would say a label to put on that. You're just seeing things for the way they are.
Yeah.
You're not trying to hide behind a construct of society. You're not trying to, put up walls and pretend that things aren't happening as they're happening.
Yeah.
She just put a label on it, so it's easier for people to grasp. That's just how I see that. But there are many other times in history where I'm sure people said that there's nothing new under the sun. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say like it's a better concept just because she's the one that put it in a package for us to be able to, see
Right.
like this is what it is.
Yeah.
Because she, I would love to know, like, she's one of the people I would like to speak with in person. I would like to know what kind of upbringing she had with her father, for
Right.
instance,
Yeah.
because if she does not think the way a stereotypical, normal, expected female would, how you expect a female to think,
Yeah.
or how you expect a female to act upon her thoughts. And so I would like to know, who, what kind of mom, what kind of dad does she have, that type of thing. But yeah, I understand what you're saying with that. I mean, with the topic we have here, it goes into a lot of different avenues, because that's why I kept it kind of broad, because if you do a part 2 or 3 or whatever, it can be very, it can be very broad. We can talk about not only the physical health and relationships, but the mental health and relationships,
Yeah.
the way that you're observing the world and where your body is responding to it, those types of things.
Yeah.
I think it's the problem in Black society. Before I bring you up, BGS, a lot of us, we don't go to or even look at options for counseling and therapy enough.
Hmm.
Shout out to Topaz Presents. She is a therapist and she does talk about these issues a lot. I appreciate her channel so much, um, because we really need that. We really need that information. And bring him up real quick.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just curious, Aaron. Why do people think that the very tiny spot we call the manosphere is the whole Black YouTube?
Yeah, because a lot of these guys that, and I've said this before. I'm sure when O'Shea helped co-founded, I believe O'Shea had good intentions for having a safe space for Black men to come and air out our issues and stuff. I
Uh-huh.
think it's because of what it turned into right now.
Okay, well, I'm still asking a question. Okay, the manosphere or the Black manosphere is a very, very tiny part of Black YouTube. Most of Black YouTube is entertainment,
Yeah.
and other kind of stuff. There's plenty of Black YouTubers, like way more Black YouTubers do health and tech and all kinds of stuff. But the thing is, why do people come
I
on
agree.
and saying that I wish that Black YouTube would talk about science and health and stuff like that? And basically, if you look at all the Black content creators on YouTube, is just a very tiny portion to even talk about dating, relationships, and red pill. Very tiny part. So I'm saying is I don't know why people get this idea that the manosphere, the Black manosphere, which is like Zero said, is anti-feminist, and Black
Mhm.
manosphere is Black anti-feminist. Why that gets construed like it's all of Black YouTube.
Well, I wasn't necessarily saying it's all of Black YouTube. I'm just talking about from the stuff that I have heard of recent. I mean, I hear so much vitriol when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to Black women, and I know it's not all of them. I know that. I mean, I figured that out.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm sure that. And once again, I'll say it again. I believe that when O'Shea first founded it, and I know Angry Man and Obsidian
No.
also helped them found it too.
Well, O'Shea started out doing mostly popular content. He didn't really start
Yeah.
doing red pill content. He did that later on. That's not what his channel was first founded on.
Right.
The
And I was
in fact, there was red pill content creators doing anti-feminism like 10 years before O'Shea showed up. But
right.
it's a very tiny part. So I don't understand um, why is it you know why is it anti-feminist? You go to Facebook and you see anti-misandry, like Dr. Johnson says, all over the place. That's been going on for the last 20 years, but nobody talks about it. I'm
Mhm.
just curious why. So I'm saying is that why we coming on a science thing, talk about I wish that there was more stuff like this. So why does it take the Black manosphere, which is anti-feminist, to get you guys to pay attention to somebody like Nicole? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm really curious about. Nicole should stand. Nicole, Don Calypso.
Yeah.
Basically, why is my channel like 37,000 subs, and somebody like the prestigious Dr. Dunbar, who's talking about this stuff, that
Yeah.
talks about this kind of science all day long, he only has 300 subs. Then why is it our fault instead of
Yeah.
you guys' fault?
Yeah, I wasn't, and this wasn't necessarily blaming the manosphere. I was talking about the Black sector, basically a lot in general. It's so much it's so much negativity that people talking about. I wasn't just singling out the manosphere.
That's what y'all like.
Well, it's not if it exactly. I was about to say that it's not
It's
negative.
entertaining.
There are a lot of videos that I watch, and when I go to the person's channel, and I actually it's sad because I actually have a feeling that the ones that I scroll through that have the most views are probably there's some negativity, there's
Yeah.
some food fights going on or something, and then I go to the ones that have less views and watch those first.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that I had to do that. There are a lot more scientists out here. The problem is, and they've said it on their channels as well,
Mm-hmm.
that they have to go into different sectors because they don't get the support.
Yep.
They don't, I'm looking at that myself, because it's like, when I have, and that's why it's such a, blessing to me when I have someone like Salchih email me,
Mm-hmm.
nameless protagonists. Other people have emailed me, men and women email me and stuff about, how we enjoy certain videos and this and that, and things that help them. And, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I just literally saw a dude yesterday, and I'm not trying to get this into like money or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not even talking about the money. It's about the support in general. I saw a dude yesterday in 6 hours. It was 5 hours and 59 minutes and some change, and he made like what $293,000.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did he, if you take the money away and just look at the views, I was like, well, dang. I mean, people could just take the views. That'd be enough right there. But he had the money. He raised $293,000 for water. I think he said it was for charity for water for children in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Corey X pension.
Well, the thing with science, I think, like for your channel, I mean, you obviously, I guess most people don't understand how science works. You need grants, and there's a lot of money that's involved.
Yes,
So
a lot of money.
if we want to support you, and you have a specialized, you have specialized training,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's good. So you don't have to go outside all the time. I mean, unless that's like last resort. I personally don't see anything wrong with you asking. It's legit. You're not asking to go freaking buy some Louis Vuittons.
Right.
Why do we, as black people, and as much money as we spend on entertainment, just on YouTube? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if we give Nicole Tommy Sotomayor money, which is like a couple $100,000 a year, okay, what could Nicole do with a couple $100,000 a year?
Man.
Besides Jason licking his lips.
No,
I got me a winner here.
I got that ray gun on deck. It's just waiting to.
Yeah.
Got a little ray gun working on. I got a little robots working. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the manosphere exists because the manosphere exists. The black manosphere exists is because those are the issues that black men are having. Okay, with their relationship, with their mothers, with their sisters, with their women, and trust and believe, Aaron. You ain't see. If I really wanted to go off, and Nicole knows me well enough, if I really want to go off on women, trust and believe, it'd be searing. Okay, Nicole can tell you I hold back a lot.
Yes, I agree. He does hold back. I wanted to say that. I understand why you do hold back.
Yeah.
I kind of wish you didn't, but I understand why you do. Because
and yes, I've seen you. I've been on panels with you before. I've known you for some years, and I know. Trust me, I know how you get down. I mean, and I know you got even a channel for women and stuff like that. I respect what you do. And I guess I'm just talking about with this implosion that's going on right now with the manosphere. It's like the guys are going in at each other now. It's like you can have so much anger in one
annual event.
Because Nicole broke it down with the mice fighting. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, this is mate competition by men.
Yeah.
And this is it looks like it's food fighting, and it's looked like they're denigrating women. Actually, it's mate competition. They're actually trying to prove who's the fittest mouse to actually rule the nest. That's what they're doing right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's how come my Nicole put that video out there, and that's how come I actually used it to actually explain this is what's going on. This is just human nature.
Yeah. See, I'm not the type of person to just come out and talk about, that so directly, because I don't see that's not my place to do that. I don't feel like that's my place. And also I can if I come out and just talk like, oh, this dude doing this dude doing that, that made me look stupid and I ain't got
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have a personal I have a personal professional
Mm-hmm.
perspective to lend to the conversation, then I'll do that. And that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
right.
it takes a lot of thinking. A lot of times, like this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Salchih, like just thinking about what it is that's going on right in front of you. We were talking about environment and talking about how a lot of things shape your life. There's things you see and things you don't see. The genetics is behind it that we don't see. My problem is there's stuff you don't see, such as genetics, but you're not even going to take the opportunity to look for it. And I'm showing you how to look for it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Literally shows you something we use every day, which is called string database, where you just type in the protein. I don't care what kind of protein it is. You just type it in, and you're going to have to get the protein from looking at an article, right? So you got to read some, and you pull those protein names out of there, put it in the string, and see how these proteins, how they organize and interact with each other.
Yeah. And there's
the doctor's gonna be like, what?
Yeah, and Nicole can only tell us about 10% of what she knows because
I can't say everything
because she's got a contract, so she only can tell us about 10%. And basically, what I really use Nicole for is basically because she sees the stuff. And I said, "Have you seen this?" Because I've read this. Have you seen it? And she can say yes or no, which is not going to actually impact her job. But the thing is, it lets me know that okay, this is beyond just in a research lab in a university someplace. This is actually becoming a working model, which is a lot of things Nicole has basically not co-signed, but actually she has confirmed for me. Okay, like I said, just for instance, the artificial womb. Okay, I mean, I've seen it. It's been a rumor. They've shown videos of it. But the thing is, how do I know that this is actually accurate? So somebody that I trust says, okay, Nicole, have you seen it? If Nicole says no, then okay, it's not ready yet. But she said, yeah, I've seen it. I've touched it. Oh, this is much more serious than I thought.
Yeah. And then you have to start asking questions, Thank you for coming, the Crimson Cure. I want to take a break to say, hey, sis.
At the end of the day, bottom line, I just want the best for us. That's all. It's at the end of the day, I just want the best for us.
Yeah.
The thing is, it wanting the best for us, and it come. The thing is, it's actually at the end of the day, we have to face reality, and we wanting the best is one thing, because I want the best for us too. But the thing is, I want our folks to be prepared. That's like I love promoting somebody like Nicole, promoting somebody like Don Calypso, promoting somebody like Dr. Dunbar, because Dr. Dunbar, man, I'd say that I met him on Twitter because he follows my work, and I said, and he said, I have a channel. I said, your channel needs to be part of the manosphere because you need to bring information, So I said, I'll do whatever I can to promote you, to make sure that you in this sector if I can. Same thing with Nicole. I said, I said, Nicole, I'm gonna do whatever I can because Black folks need more than just rumors, or there's more than just, I'm not saying Hotep science or basically vegan science is not valuable. It is, but the thing is, we need to know what's going on in these research labs at the high tech range, and there's very few people that are at that level that we know that we can trust, because they'll tell you the things. How do you know that you can trust some dude on a video that writes a paper? You can't, because you don't know that dude. You don't know that dude. You don't know his background. You don't have the expertise to know whether he's accurate or not. But the thing is, we know her. We know Nicole.
I mean, I don't have no reason to make stuff up, because it's like, okay, for what? Because it goes against my training. It goes against not training professionally, but just personally.
Yeah, integrity.
Like you said, Aaron, you want to make sure things are done the right way. So I get that. I've heard you say that before as well. Make sure things are done the right way. Do the best for your people, of course. That includes telling the truth. What's going on, Fred?
Yeah.
And so I put things out in a certain way. I sit down, I think about, what is this going to mean? Not to me, but what is this going to mean to other people who may be interested? I can't remember everybody's interests. But when people comment enough, I start to remember, like, oh, so-and-so may like this one, and I notice when they like the first couple people that make a comment, I'm like, yeah, got them.
Yeah. The thing is that Um, if you follow Nicole and you write down some notes and study a couple of videos, next time say it's colon cancer or prostate cancer, and you walk into the doctor's office with a loved one and you mention a couple of proteins and a couple of enzymes, the doctor's
Right.
going to snap his head up and say, oh, okay, I can't just bullshit this person
Right.
because they know something and they know somebody that does know something, because you're not supposed to know. I get that all the time by people, that come up against experts and say, oh, how do you know that? You're not supposed to know that. You're not a doctor. You're not this, that, or
Yeah.
the other. How do you know? How do you know that? How do you know about this protein and what it goes to? And they're gonna give you a couple of questions, but they can only go a couple layers deep too. You go a couple layers deep, all of a sudden you're gonna get a different response out of the doctor, out of the hospital, out of those nurses, because okay,
Yeah.
this person is informed. Okay. In other words, you're not just a sheet to be led around. Even the stuff I give about economics, right? Geopolitics and geoeconomics, about the banking system. You can walk up to any economist and say a few phrases, and they look at you funny, like you're not supposed to know that. Okay, where'd you learn that? And all of a sudden they have a different respect for you and they talk to you differently if you do that. So it's just a little bit of information, just a tiny bit of what Nicole knows, because Nicole knows more than the doctors actually know, because this is her field of expertise.
They have to come to us.
They have to come to her. So if you're talking about stuff that they don't, that they may or may not know, they're gonna go back and they're gonna type it up and say, "Oh shit, this motherfucker knows more than I know." So basically, I can't bullshit him about the treatment and stuff like that. You have to have a new respect, okay, about it. So the thing is, when you get people like this, you don't have to spend, God knows what 20 years that Nicole's been doing this stuff. Just a little bit of it will get you a different reaction out of these people. Okay.
I want to thank Crimson Cure for sending the Cash App, and I wanted to read her comment in there, even though it's not super chat. I'll read it anyway because that's my girl.
Yeah.
She said, "This is very true. I've gone into doctors' offices equipped with more knowledge than the average person. They respond differently." She's talking to you, BJS. Yes.
Yeah. They walk in and when they're doing blood tests, and then well, we got to collect blood. It says, so how long is it going to take the AI to actually figure out what the cause is? And they look up like, what? Yeah, you can't do this in 30 minutes. It has to be the AI actually sorting the sample. So how long does it take for it to come back? They look at you differently. So the thing is, this is not just entertainment. It's not just, I don't mean to take over your show, Nicole. It's not just entertainment. It's not just entertainment. These are tools. And I wish more Black people actually use the tools to actually get into these spaces and get closer to these experts that have these conversations. Okay. I got one sub of mine just to work. He's been following me for 4 years. He dates two bankers and a PhD economist. Okay. And he's an airline worker. Okay. Because of the stuff that he's done in the research and his own reading. Now he's at their level. He talks to an economist. Okay. In other words, if you have the tools to actually speak the language, then you can actually get more information out of experts that wouldn't normally give it to you. So these are tools. So in other words, instead of arguing with her, because I would never argue with her about this stuff, because a lot of this stuff that she's talking about, enzymes and stuff like that, goes over my head because that's not my field of expertise. So, like I said, I always tell her she's one of the smartest people I know, and I just want people to respect her as that, because I respect it, and a couple of guys that gone to bat, at me as far as the COVID. They said, well, who is she? Where you getting this information from? I said, you know what? That's my expert, and she has the job. And as far as until she's ready to come out and say something, you might as well go ahead and secure me, because you ain't gonna know, because you have to come through me to get to her. That's my expert.
What I do is when Dr. Dunbar gets on, when Nicole gets on, when Dr. Tiosan Johnson gets on, when BJS gets on, if I'm at work, wherever I am, I get out a sheet of paper. I got notes all over the freaking place. That's what I do. I'm not even like trying to gas your heads. It's just honest. Even right now, I got a piece of paper right now, and that's what I do. I shut my mouth. I take notes. I go, and then I go to work. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know enough of the lingo and enough of the process to have a conversation, you get a different respect from
Yep.
that physician. Okay.
I used to come to the Coliseum a few nights and stuff and see some really interesting conversations. I mean, I kind of miss that.
Yeah, well, hey, hey, well, the thing is that just like Nicole and Dr. Dunbar, you have to protect the people that give you the information, and for me, I didn't get protected. Okay, I didn't get
Yeah,
protected.
I remember that situation too.
Yeah, everybody, people let the dude go in on me. I said, okay, well, you know what, which with me is fine. I don't care. But the thing is that y'all let him go too far. I said, okay, well, if this is the way it's going to be, then basically I'm not valued.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I felt it. That's why I felt. That's why the Coliseum hasn't been back. So the thing is, but the thing is, I'd be damned. I'd be damned if I'm going to help bring in people like Nicole, people like Dr. Dunbar, people like Tiasan Johnson. You guys don't respect them. I'll be damned.
Yes.
You guys will respect these people. Okay, you will respect my eggheads. Okay, you will respect them. Because if I have to come out and I have to bring out the lightsaber, to come after you guys for not respecting and cherishing, not respect, but cherishing people like her, man. Because I kiss the ground she walks on, man, because we don't call her the Queen of Science for nothing. But anyway, enough of them accolades. I don't want to hit because Jason's gonna have a hard time with you if I keep giving you these.
No, I really have a problem with it. Honestly, like we have a long conversation about like the stream and stuff. It was one night, we were on here for a while. He was like, well, just let me know what's going on. I think he was angry because like a little angry, not too much, but he was just like, it was the food issue. He was like, well, you have everything finished. I was like, okay. With my side dishes, what's up?
Well, he's very, I said with Jason is very generous, so he comes first. So I wouldn't,
Yeah. I was like, they were there. No, they were there. It's like, if it's not on the plate, then it don't exist. That type of thing.
That's my dude.
Like, it's not on the plate. If it ain't on the plate, it don't exist. Right. Oh my god. I think that's a hit at me because I say if it's not written down, it's not written down. And that's how it is.
Yeah, you got a lot of background up there. Go ahead, mute him. Yeah.
I'll mute you for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I always say, well, it's not written down, don't exist. He's like, okay, if it's not on the plate, it don't exist. Fine, whatever. But I think that, in general, I appreciate that because, you're saying that because I, do what I can. Like I just, it's getting hard because it's like,
got a lot of noise, Darren.
You trying to say something?
Yeah, it must be.
Who you trying to? Okay, yeah, he outside for real. He must be all the way at the top of.
He must be doing a long marathon.
My bad. I actually was sitting by the. It's 109 here.
Where you at? Oh,
yeah.
You in Cal? You in LA? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I live in LA. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking for some of those chemtrails to spray some clouds and cool things down.
Yeah, I'm sitting right in front of the fan, literally, and it still ain't helping.
No, I'm talking about they need to spray some clouds, man, so to cover this stuff up so we can cool down. Hot, they'll bring out the little airplanes, start seeding the clouds and stuff like that, and cooling us off. I guess we're out of money right now.
Yeah, I think for me, when I think about the channel, people get mad. Like it's just like people just get mad and frustrated if I'm not here for like 3 or 4 days. They're like, what's going on? Where you at? Da, da, da. I'm like, when I'm here, you ain't coming on the stream, you ain't coming on the panel. So what's up? Like, really, huh? When I'm here, you ain't coming on the panel. I'm dropping links, like, and everything. But then that's another thing, like people, and that I laugh. I try to laugh as much as I can because it's like things are just funny to me sometimes. But like you ain't been here for like 3 days, just emailing you, seeing what's up with you. when I'm there, you ain't hollering at me. So what's the, what's
Where you at?
the next time I'm on there? Where you at?
Yeah.
Holler at me, whatever.
And
And
I haven't seen your Cash App, sir. So
yeah, I'm like, well, I didn't even say that. I was just like, I said, well, when I'm on there next time, just come on the panel. Like,
yeah.
oh, I don't know, because I don't want to get in trouble with, I don't want to have no arguments with you. Arguments, like, who, what? Well, I don't argue with people.
No, you don't. No,
I don't argue with people. Like, for what?
I argue with people. So that's my
Hmm.
job.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah,
job.
I don't argue. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
If you've been in the conscious community for 30 years, you get good at it.
yeah. Nicole don't argue with people. I haven't known Nicole to argue. Actually, Nicole, you're actually kind of patient compared to a lot of us.
I try because, I know
I
how
learned
I was when I was learning. I know how I was when I was learning, when I was just coming up, and I want people to, I want to respect everybody's positions, even if I disagree with you.
Mhm.
I need to hear your position out and, respect it. Like if you saying, well, I didn't have a chance to come up there and holler at you, whatever, but then you put all this long paragraphs in the comment section. I don't do that mess.
Yeah, they want to write you a book.
Believe me, I scroll past the first 2 lines. If it's longer than 2 lines, I'm like,
Yeah,
like,
I remember that way. Yeah, especially a small type in the comment section. I feel like
oh,
reading stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at it like, what?
Yeah,
What?
a War and Peace. Okay.
Right. You got a long paragraph, and then you say, oh, and then the next comment you gave, and another thing. Oh, no. You don't put in the comment, and another thing. We ain't having no conversation. Like, nigga, what you, what? You come back, and another thing. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to block you. You getting on my nerves. So
Oh, yes.
that's what I do. But yeah, Crimson Cure said it. She said only a fool argues with someone with the expertise they don't have. Exactly.
Oh,
Like,
yes. How you
Holy
doing? So,
Spirit, you
how
said,
you doing? I'm Scientist Supreme.
what's going on, Officer Charles?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel you about the trolling shit. Somebody's on my comment section asking me about the death of a Detective Shorter. Oh, do you believe the department killed him? No.
Have you done a stream weighing in on the dude Kyle? What's his name in Wisconsin? Have you done a stream on that yet? If you do,
Not yet.
you haven't done it yet. If you do it, let me
Not
know
yet.
because I want to
Which
hear.
one is that? Is that the guy who?
The 17-year-old with the AR-15. I don't want to
It's
derail.
about Carl Rittenhouse. Carl Rittenhouse.
Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to derail.
With these shootings and things, that does deal with family health and relationships, in my opinion, because it's gonna affect you mentally, and you hear how children. Well, we hearing how the kids talking about this stuff, how it is affecting them, and they're a lot of times they're like we're scared in certain situations. They don't like to be around a lot of people and stuff. And so it is affecting them, and it hurts, to hear them say stuff like that.
Yeah, because I know how I feel about it. But the thing is that I'm not a cop, so I want to know.
Yeah,
I'll put 2 cents in it, and
okay.
I'll give the whole 98 cents, the other dollar, part of the dollar when I do the live stream. I'll probably do it tonight since Buddy wants to hang out with some liquor, cigars, and my niggas later tonight. But
is Josh gonna be there too?
Oh, Josh, today's his mom's birthday, so he's celebrating with his mom and his brothers, niece, and nephew. So
wow.
He might come later tonight, but god damn it, when me and Josh hook up.
Yeah, it's something else. Well, yeah, you guys got stories like for days.
I'm gonna tell you, man, when I see from an early age, because my parents would rarely hide stuff from me. They would tell me the truth because they're boomers like yourself. So I have a different ideal of other races of people, juxtaposed to black people. So because of that, my brother and I always grew up with the knowledge that a lot of kids don't comprehend, that we live in 2 different worlds. Speaking of which, when you have a 17-year-old with an AR-15 going around the street and he's already killed 2 people, You have to understand. I keep telling people this, and this is what I have an issue with: education, well, miseducation, and disinformation. People want us to be in this kumbaya, hands across America bullshit instead of telling the truth. A lot of these people do not like you. A lot of these people want the race war to begin. I had a guy who came up on my channel talking about Detective Shooter. Do you think the department killed him? No. And if it did, oh, I'm conscious and I just wanted to see you know. I said, you're a troll. I said, I'll do you one favor. I'll make a live stream. You can talk to me and ask me in real time. Well, I knew you wasn't going to say this. You're just a department. I said, nigga, you're a coward. Straight up, you're a fucking coward. You can't even speak to me in real time from a distance.
Wow.
And it's the same thing that I've always said that Nicole always so eloquently put. Are you black? And the person's going to say yes. I could tell because you always argue with the expert.
Yep.
You want to tell me how the department's corrupt. Well, you know, the bad ones outweigh you. If the bad ones outweigh this, what the fuck can you do about it? You wouldn't.
You be in Mexico.
Yeah. So I've always told people the average corruption is 2 to 3%. It's only galvanized through media.
Yeah.
Like I've always said, no one ever sees you when you rescue the bus full of kids drowning and you're pulling the bus back to shore with your teeth. Nobody sees that. You do one thing that's questionable, not necessarily wrong, but questionable that people don't understand. Oh, this guy's a bad cop. This guy, I could literally punch somebody on camera in their mouth, break their jaw. People be like, oh, it's abuse. You didn't see the guy when he punched me? Oh, but you're trained to take a punch.
No.
But
it's very interesting you're mentioning this because if you bring it back to the topic, there's mistrust with people in specialty authority, scientists, doctors, police officers. I mean, this goes back to what you said before, and I didn't even think about this until now, BGS, with we're not an authoritarian country.
No.
So, this is why you can have people questioning. There were some things in the chat earlier, I missed it, but questioning whether you're comparing a local doctor to like a specialist or something.
Yeah,
and that's you can't compare that. That's just totally different. There's more school, there's more experience there. Yeah. For instance, comparing a police officer on the beat, beat cop to a detective. There's a difference there.
Yeah.
Not really, but not really.
Well, from my perspective,
I'm just joking with you.
You start to specialize.
You haven't seen some of these detectives. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Maybe Baltimore is like that.
They're getting better, but it's like if the officer could do the same. It's the same rank. It's just different branches.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see all these people out here talking about defunding the police, but you see what that caused. You see what happened when they said do that. Look at what's going on now. Total chaos.
They didn't know what they were talking about.
It's more of a threat. You can't really defund the police, especially in an urban area. It's not going to work.
You know what happens? You know what happens if you defund the police? Let's say you disband the police. Okay, what's going to happen? Anarchy.
Chaos.
And then on top of that, what's going to happen? The men of the community are going to be like, you know what? Okay, we had our fun. Everybody's doing this anarchy. Now it's getting dangerous. We're going to start up some type of protection system. And you're going to have the police back and just again. So you're just going to go back to ground zero. So it's stupid. We should defund the police. Do you know what the fuck that means?
No.
It doesn't mean eliminate the police department. Basically, it means a reduction in the funding of the police department.
Which you don't want.
Yeah,
they want to stop them out.
Some can and some can't. Okay, some departments can trim down can trim down the police budget, and some can't. I would say Baltimore probably can't. New York City probably can, because New York City is jailing people on just petty ass crimes. If you just stop jailing, putting people in Rikers Islands for little petty ass crimes, you could probably have more money out there on the street.
Mhm.
But there's lots of doing things.
What happens is it's not. It would make more sense if you defund the state's attorney, because you got to remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're convicted or you're sent to prison for long-term periods of time, which is incredible. Which is the running gag that as soon as I finish the report, the motherfucker's already out, and it could be for a serious crime. A lot of times, what you have here is that people go, especially politicians, which are state's attorneys, mayors, and city councils. They like to play the old, what's the popular saying today? Black Lives Matter. Refund, like police. What is it? Police refunding or anything like that.
You can reduce the police department. You really can. But the thing is, you're going to get a lot more electronic surveillance, because that's what it would take.
Actually, that would increase it, because you got to buy up all this shit.
No, not really. It wouldn't increase it. In fact, that you can do it very cheaply. The thing is that people aren't going to go for it. I mean, people aren't going to want to be monitored 24/7 in a liberal country like that. Like
too late.
Yeah,
all I'm going to say is too late.
DC.
You hook up an AI. You can put in patrol bots, or you can put in patrol drones to fly over the neighborhood and put Officer Charles with a few monitors in his car, and basically he can basically monitor a whole city section. But the thing is, it would take increased privacy invasion to do some shit like that. So you can defund the police, you sure can. But the thing is, what you get might be much worse than just a police officer on a block.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. Yes, they don't want drones in there. I mean, I've been in a lot of meetings here in LA. There's a group here called, I forget what that group is called, but I've been to a lot of their meetings, and they've talked about stuff about stop droning, police drones and stuff. So yeah, you don't want drones flying over an urban neighborhood.
If you leave it to me, somebody black pill like me, if I wanted to stop a disturbance or a riot, I would have just a few police officers sweep up, give me like 10,000 mosquito drones with a little bit of fentanyl on the tip, and then just let them go. Drop them out of drones, and after about and wait an hour, and then just come in and pick the people up.
It reminds me of a famous saying that my father once said: "Ass whoopings cures what ails you."
Yeah, well, be careful what you wish for.
I've always said
some PD can be defunded. Also, petty victimless crimes should be decriminalized.
Yeah.
Depends on the crime.
What's this?
That's what she said. Also,
she qualified it with some, not all.
Depends on the crime. Like some shit, like I'm just like.
Yeah. See, she says decriminalize certain things will stop so many arrests.
See, the arrest goes down. And then, people, okay, let me explain this. All right, like for instance, in Baltimore, is it the state of Maryland? No, it's just Baltimore. They have under 10 grams, you get a citation. Do niggas go to court? So what did they end up with? FTA, so you're arresting them anyway.
Yeah.
So it's the arrest actually for the last 10 years have went down.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep.
Well, yeah, because you don't have crack. The wave of people that used to be into the drug trade or crack trade, they've gotten too old now, so they've aged out.
I mean, I think a lot of times people don't know what they want to do. First, they want to defund the police. Then, when you defund the police and they don't come, then folks say, "Well, don't be snitching." Well, there's no one to snitch to. I mean,
here's the issue that a lot of people don't understand. Every year you got a new type of criminal. Then you got to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do with this crime. Marijuana, they cut it down, and I'm like, look, you're gonna have organized crime in any city, anywhere. Will the state's attorney tackle that? No. because she doesn't want to fuck over her constituency. So, because but many of the people who get arrested, it's not. If you notice something, it's not even for the crimes that petty stuff that people do, because people don't pay attention to that shit. Yes, I could yes, on the books we could legally arrest you for fucking spitting on the ground, spitting on the sidewalk. Yes, but are we going to do it? No, because you have a higher priority of stuff to deal with. So when you have a lot of these crimes, remember, a lot of these people who get arrested, majority of people is because of a lot of it is warrants. And a lot of these people, I used to think, do y'all not know that you have warrants? And then you realize, damn, 75% of y'all do know. That's why they be ready to get their shoes tied up real tight and run. I'm like, sit your ass back down. Come on now. Well, why you fucking with me? Oh yeah, I put on my clothes, brush my teeth, do all this stuff. Come to work just to fuck with you. That's the least that I want to do. I want to make the most amount of money with the least amount of work.
Yeah, that's what if it was me, man, I'd be draconian. Okay, if you got somebody living in your house and got warrants on, turn themselves in, we gonna hold your welfare check until he comes to court. She'll turn him in.
I mean, that's what happens anyway when they have an argument.
Yeah.
So you get this mysterious call. Subject was wearing, and you could tell it's a girlfriend or somebody, or their mother or father, or their brother who's pissed at them, because you get a better description than the Mona Lisa been painted. So it's like, oh, they're wearing red and white Jordans, the ones that came out early last year. Oh yeah, I remember those. Oh, he's wearing a polo with the black horse on it. And I'm like, God damn, you must have pissed him off real bad for that description. Yeah. He's about caramel complexion, he has really good hair, a nice grain.
I'm surprised they don't tell you the size of his Johnson.
I'm just like, hey.
Yeah, earring. He's got a chain on.
Oh, he's got a chain on. He's got a slight limp from when he used to play basketball, and he's still healing. At least the motherfucker still got a jumper.
Oh yeah, he also has a Mickey Mouse tattoo on his left ass cheek.
Oh,
yeah, keep that on himself.
That's calls like that have happened. Truth is stranger than fiction. I'll say that.
Yeah, but let me know when you're gonna if you're gonna do the thing on on Kenosha. So because I want to get your take.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
I might do one after Nicole, the scientist supreme, closes shop. I might do that.
There was something I was gonna do, probably follow up on this, because I wanted to also have, women, the ladies, where the ladies at? Okay. Where the ladies at? Hey, no, I was kidding.
No, you're not.
Because we had ladies in the house of DJ Kuda last night. It was cool. We had the karaoke. Now that's what I'm talking about when it comes to stress relief right there. We had karaoke, man. I was like, yes. Kendra was in there jamming. Oh, it was great.
Hey, Nicole, be on there too. I didn't know that. I've been to Kuda's place quite a few times.
Nicole's everywhere.
Yeah, Kuda is cool. Everything. Platt came and all. He did his thing. He's Platt, platinum. But he said he's going to look at him about 10 times. But I hope he made it there or whatever.
My boy Charles Swapping on here too. I ain't seen Charles in a minute either. It's been up with you, man.
I've been styled and profiling. You know me.
Yeah.
Last night I had some stress. I had some stress relievers yesterday. Me and the boy. If you hear any noises, me and the boys down at the lounge.
Yeah.
So it was a couple of pretty girls who gave me compliments.
Candy ran from Mongo.
I mean, she stopped me when I was walking to my table. Okay.
She stopped you. Okay.
I was like, I like your complexion. She's like, I like your muscles.
Mm-hmm.
In front of all her homegirls, and they like, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then my homeboys came to the table. Why all these pretty girls hugging you? I said, hey, it's just my je ne sais quoi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I ain't bragging a lot. Shit.
I ain't say you wouldn't brag, and I just said that's par for the course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I can do
Ah,
a part two of this if everybody will, allow me. If y'all cool, you're cool with that. We can do a part two. It was really based on, I
Mm-hmm.
did the stream in honor of Chadwick Boseman, and then Salchih
Mm-hmm.
hit me up and everything, and just went from there. And I kind of felt what he was saying because I've had similar instances of people passing in my family too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, it's necessary for us to talk about that. If not here, somewhere else. And he asked me, so here we are.
Yeah, because
And
if I'm not mistaken, Chadwick Boseman was a vegan, so
right, and that was
yeah.
another thing.
So it's
That's
not.
why I'm
So it's
probably
more
getting.
than. So it's more than just diet. So.
Yeah, it is. I think it is more just that. That was the point I was trying to make because Salchi mentioned in the email that someone was 37,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you said your friend's mother was 37 years old.
Yeah.
That is very, very young. I just mentioned yesterday on Kendra's stream that a lot of the patient, when I was talking to everybody on the stream, I'm literally looking at my computer at the Excel worksheet, and it's like one of the patients, the youngest one's 32,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going through data, looking. I mean, I just see numbers, but your numbers are not good, after treatment, and I'm looking like, wow, okay, that's crazy. The fact that we don't talk about things like this enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just your diet. It's not just your environment. Sometimes these things are pre-existing. You have
Yeah.
this
Genetic, yeah.
predisposition to this,
Genetic.
and you need to know that early on. So when Sachi asked the question, like, should you get this genetic testing done? Absolutely. Get that done. That's why I push really hard, and we all, with people I work with, we really push for, which it probably ain't gonna happen because, like I said, this is a liberal country. So and a lot of other things with that too, but getting healthcare universal, that's for everybody, where there's no
Mm-hmm.
gaps and all this stuff,
Yeah.
that's a major issue. Coming into LA, you can see, like Father Tom said yesterday, you can see the smog lines.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from the south, coming north into LA, or coming from the north going into LA, you have to go south, going down there from either direction, even going west, coming from the east side. Like you can see all of that smog,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's settling right over you.
Yeah. And in the rural areas, like where my mother was from, because of the oil, gas, and even the
Mm,
kind of pesticides that they put on the crops.
right.
Since because she was she
Sharecropper.
was she was
Sharecropper.
sharecropper in cotton, right? So and they
Right.
spray cotton with certain things, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So she had it when she was young. She was in her 20s when she got
Yeah.
colon cancer, but it came from,
Jesus.
but it came from the pesticides he sprayed on the cotton.
Yeah.
That's how she developed.
DDT.
Even though she's still alive, she got it taken care of. But the thing is, she had it in her 20s. So
Yeah.
it's it's more than just way more than just diet. Because you think
Yeah. Of course.
I know 2 or 3 vegans that have died from colon cancer. You would think that they wouldn't get it because they live on a natural diet and they watch their diet and stuff like that. But the thing is, we don't we can't control everything that's in your food. Just because when you eat it, you don't know how it was grown or what was in it or
Yep.
anything like that. A lot of stuff that you can't control.
Hmm. What's going on, Mike B? I see you there. Panda Index, thank you for coming, for stopping by. It was saying something about the drones. Oh, they were saying drones earlier.
Hmm.
I think you mentioned something about drones, Aaron. They were saying something about that.
Yeah, there's a very good book that was written by Daniel Suarez back in the mid 2000s called Kill Decision, and when he goes through basically military type drones and how they would actually use it for weaponry and stuff like that. Really good book. And actually goes a lot of the stuff that he talks about they're actually using right now. He talked about that like 13 years ago.
The way they use drones, I think that's how they took out Osama. They use drones in Baghdad a lot, and I think even
Well,
Saddam Hussein's sons were even killed by a drone.
no,
you can
his
do.
sons were killed.
Yeah, we're doing drone strikes, but I think they came. There's a lot of things that went on with Osama, depending on who you believe. Okay,
Yeah.
that they knew where Osama was for years. They just
Yeah.
that's. I'm not even gonna do it on here because I want no 202 area code
No.
calls tomorrow. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, because it's really deep about Osama bin Laden and how he died and
202,
stuff
huh?
like that.
202,
Yeah,
huh?
you get yeah, if
My
I say
bad. I apologize.
I already get it.
Oh, you get it?
I,
Yeah, you
I
get it.
already get it. I
Yeah,
already
you
get it. I
you
know
get
the area code.
you get a 202 call. You hit.
I know what 202 is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you pick it up, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
there's nobody on the other line. Okay, I know what this means. All right.
My bad. I didn't even mean to mention that name. I
No.
apologize. That's,
No. You can mention the name. I'm just not going to tell the story because
Right.
it's really not. It's not really not widely known, the story behind the story, and it has something to do with our president. But
okay.
that's another story. I might do that on a Patreon stream. I'm not going to do it on a public stream, especially not Nicole's channel.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
The
I already got.
link in the
already
chat.
got-
I hope you guys are able to. Oh, go ahead.
I already got in trouble about a reparations idea that I had. So I said I mentioned it once, and I got a 202 phone call the next day. I said, okay, I'm not gonna mention that one again.
See, I'm like you, BGS. I'll probably get a motherfucker on the screen. Like, motherfucker, you're giving it away too easy.
No. In other words, you people are asleep, and you're gonna wake them up to stuff that right in front of their face. Yeah, they're not supposed to know. Yeah.
And it's really sad about information and misinformation and disinformation is that even if you tell people, majority of people still wouldn't get it. So
one of these days, I'm gonna sit at the bar with Nicole. I'm gonna get her drunk, and I say, "Okay, Nicole, spill the beans."
I'm gonna tell her.
Spill the beans.
I'm
I know
gonna
you can't do it publicly, but hey, spill the beans.
I'm gonna tell.
I'm gonna have a little tube. I'm gonna do the surgery on myself. A little tube every time I drink. I'm drinking, and it's gonna go right through me. Go out the tube, look back to my church. People be like, I done went through like 10 drinks. I'm drunk about to fall over. And she still sit here chilling like, yeah.
Told you she got the super soldier serum. She's immune to alcohol poisoning.
Go to the bathroom, bag all heavy. yeah. It'll just come right out like everything.
I'm just one day you gotta ask Nicole.
Is that a coffee bag? No, this is a liquor bag. It's my liquor bag.
Just one day.
I would tell us. Go ahead, Nicole. Tell me about this, Nicole. Tell me about this. Nicole,
No.
nice and tipsy. I wasn't supposed to tell you that. That's okay.
No, I mean,
safe with me.
it is, a lot of stuff, things that things I put on here, like some of the stuff that is put on other channels. I see, shout out to Mike V, Complex Design, like a lot of stuff they put up there. I'm like, yeah. I've seen it. I'm like, yeah, that looks real cool right there. A lot of stuff I honestly say like about 90% of the things that they put up. I'm like, okay, I haven't seen it in person, but I've been hearing about it. Some of it is like really cutting edge, and then you have to be careful with them because when I look at their articles from the Black Brain Trust, I always go to like the research of it. That's just me, and then I go to like the bottom of the screen, the bottom of the article, and look at stuff too. What else is there? Look at that's similar. I researched that.
Yeah, I always before I actually put something out that's kind of controversial, I usually get like 10 sources before I actually
try to find something that will corroborate what you're seeing.
Yeah, and then figure out then figure out how much money is actually behind it.
Hey, Nicole, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a bunch of people in your comment section just trying to debunk shit that you say?
Yes, and it is what it is. Like it's it's gonna happen, and like at this point it's like okay, like I'm just like whatever. It is what it is because it's like if you're gonna read it, you're not gonna read.
Yeah.
You
call them trolls.
Yeah, the trolls. That's how you know you made it when you get trolls.
Yeah, they're just I think some of them just want to say something and that's fine. They just want to have something to say. Like I don't know why they be like they put stuff like the person they had and another thing. I was like, okay, blah, like I'm not even gonna read what you said. And another thing, ... Okay, bye. Take me with your dice and kick rocks. Like that's how I feel. I'm not gonna sit here and read this whole thing. You got War and Peace all written out on here. I'm just like, it's not even that serious. I thought it was straightforward. what I said was like straightforward to the point. You can look the articles up for yourself. I'm not gonna make up stuff on you. And if I'm wrong, cool, I'm wrong. Like the last stream, it was I mentioned one. It was somebody. I think Malika mentioned someone's name, and because I'm thinking about doing a review on the Lovecraft Country, and I was watching another movie that that actress was in, and I got my characters mixed up. And so I was like, dang it, and so I got that wrong. Okay, and then somebody in the thing, in the comments talking about something, you don't know nothing about Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, oh yeah, I don't know anything about
Damn,
Lovecraft.
because they like cussing and stuff, and it was like, whatever. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't need to know about that. I just made a mistake. Like they're actresses, whatever. They just got blocked for nothing. Well, because you're silly. That's fine.
Yeah, they get really mad when you don't acknowledge them too. They get the trolls get really upset when you don't acknowledge them. When you just blow them off like they don't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think so, Chaos. It's not bad to share an article on YouTube. I don't see how that's a bad thing. It's published. It's in the public eye. So
argue with the author, not me.
Right.
Argue with the messenger.
Oh my God. When it comes to like the trials and stuff, people are like, well, why you got this? Why you talking about this trial? Whatever. Because it goes with the topic, and like, how do you know that's what happened? I just showed you on the screen. Like, do you think I photoshopped the screen or something? Like, it's right there. It says like they did this, and that, and like you're asking me what they did. Okay, dude, like whatever.
How do you know? Were you actually observing them when they
there? Did you see it happen? No. I didn't see it happen, but you can kick rocks real quick.
Are you counting the numbers and going through all the comorbidities and so come on.
We got Aqua Dragon and Shango the Eternal. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Miss Nicole. How you doing, Miss Lady?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for asking. You sound muffled like you in a soup can or something.
Yeah, I'm at the phone right now. So y'all hear me?
Are you talking in your hand?
Wait a minute. You're not in the bathroom with the coat over your head trying to be quiet, are you?
Try.
Saying Candyman 3 times.
Because your girl's in the next room.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me switch the device real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
He said like the mumble guy from Alpha Get Smart. Like, my hand, 99.
Oh, but speaking of Lovecraft, I'm gonna try to do a review on that. Soon I'll probably send links out or whatever. We'll just have people, come when they want to come.
How many seasons is it now?
It's just 4 episodes in season 1.
Okay, all right.
Just came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that new show with Jordan Smollett in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
She looks good. Is it based on the book series?
I think so.
Okay.
It's based on H.P. Lovecraft's books from back in the day. He was extremely anti-black.
Oh, really?
Where the Cthulhu monster, which is a large phallus, basically, that's like a octopus arms everywhere. It's just like terrorizing all these lily white people, and that was what the books were about. So I think Jordan Peele was involved with this.
Okay.
And a few other people. I know his production company was involved with it. The optics are great to me. But also, it's kind of funny how this is almost pertaining to this particular stream, because there's a lot in there about family relationships, and how their family talks to each other back and forth. There are a few times here and there where some of them have health issues and whatnot. So that I thought just thought of that. But yeah, it's a good show. I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was thinking of doing it would obviously be a spoiler alert, type thing. I think Torian just did a review on something. What was it?
On Tenet.
Tenet. That was
yeah. I saw parts of it, and it's Tenet is it's a very, very weird movie. Okay, even the concept is extremely weird. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you probably, if you're gonna watch it, you probably have to see it more than once.
I'm gonna watch
Okay.
that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna have to see it
Yeah.
more than once because
Okay.
because it initially doesn't make any sense. So
All right.
Yeah.
you probably gonna have to see it 2 or 3 times to make sense of it.
Yeah, Fitness said she said she likes Lovecraft Country. The first 2 episodes were meh. I think I know why. And then she said the third was good. I watched I watched the second episode twice because I was like, what the hell?
So
Yeah, what's going on, Rice?
did you read the books back in the day?
No, I didn't read the books. And that's
Okay.
something my dad was like, you better read the books and stop messing around. Like, I was like, okay, but I want to see this. I can watch this, with the 5G. I can watch it anywhere I am, man. He was like, read the book. Damn, read the book.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh, girl, you mess around with that 5G, you're gonna get the Rona. You're gonna get the Rona from that 5G.
Yeah,
Lord, Lord,
Oh,
Lord,
no, you're gonna get
Lord.
the Rona.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
get
get
the
the Rona,
sickness.
Nicole.
Lord, you gonna get the Rona, the sugar,
Yeah.
the
He was like,
gout.
"Look, this book." I was like, okay. I was like, you do know those books are kind of thick. And see that he said, read it. He said, go ahead and get it because, this show catches on. Popularity pushes that book, to be a higher price. And he said, go ahead and try to get it.
Yep. So
Did
you
you
gotta
read the
understand,
book?
black men, the only thing black men love thick is their women, not their books.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
And that is very true. That's funny. Because black men, we like our books thin and our women thick.
Damn, I need to put that on this shirt.
And a white man's the exact opposite. He likes his books thick and his women thin.
Oh, you know what? That is funny. Y'all ain't right for that. Y'all ain't
Hey,
right.
let's put that on a T-shirt. Oh, well, that is true.
Yeah.
Did you have something you wanted to say, Aqua or Shango?
I'll let Aqua go first.
Oh yeah, so I saw the topic was about healthy relationships, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So so what do you think from a woman's perspective, or some of the basic things that can make relationships much more healthier and better?
Well, I talked about it yesterday, but for one, making sure that there is healthy food in your house is very important. That comes with planning it out. Having there's some time where when, for instance, for me, I can speak for me personally, like I'm not all in your face when you walk in the door. I'm just not gonna do that because I have
not gonna do what? I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna be all up in his face when he comes in the door. Except for how you doing? How was your day? You got your beer, whatever here. It's obviously I have to go get it, And that's pretty much it. Like I'm just gonna leave you, you got the snacks, you can chill, do whatever you're gonna do. But I'm making sure everything's together as far as the dinner, as far as making sure things are clean. I work as well, but making sure those things are done. And that the household is a comfortable place to be where you have peace of mind.
Okay.
So like just to start out, like those are the things that I do.
Okay. And from my perspective, added on to that, I think healthy relationships is learning how to, respect one another, treat others the same way you want to be treated, and just like, just be good to one another. You know what I'm saying? No one's perfect. You know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes. We all got flaws. Right. It's about sitting down, talking, and see what can you do to solve the problem, make things better. What can you do to not make the same mistakes again? Be humble enough to hear your partner out. If they see something is wrong, you're doing something wrong, just out of respect, as they come to you about it, and you respond with the same respect. Okay, baby, I didn't do this. Let me do this better. So we can actually get along, keep getting along, since we can actually flow better. A lot of times people, they just have too much ego, thinking, oh my God, she always complaining. He always complaining over petty stuff or blah, blah, blah. And they always bump heads. Instead of just finding a common ground to see where y'all both meet at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking because this conversation, the stream actually came out of what Salchih emailed me, and he was talking like very specific and just, have basically having a hard conversation with me. And I was like, wow, let me know about his situation, his family lost from cancer and whatnot. And I said, there needs to be something we can do as far as the, education part of it. And that's where I was going for, trying to keep it as specific as possible. But yeah, you're absolutely right, because he also mentioned once that we need to check in on each other more often, and see how we're doing. That, to me, that's respect, for my elderly family members, checking it. I talked to my grandmother yesterday, on a video chat. I need to see her eyes, see, when she's talking to me and stuff. And to see, I can't be there physically, but as much as I can, out of respect to her. And she was like on there crying because she was like, I wish more people called me and talked to me. They call, but now she got used to people calling for the video chat.
Oh,
And she's
okay.
like, turn the video on. I want to see people's faces. For me, that's respect to do that.
Yeah.
And keeping in touch with her, right, especially right now with everything going on. Thank you, Bet said.
Yeah.
He said, my contribution to the anti-buck dancing fund, I'm done with you. I am so done with the butter slide. Thank you, sir. But yeah, that is important. And so, I mean, you can take the health out and say family relationships. It's still going to be some health there. They're still building health and wealth in your family when when you have stronger relationships with each other. And I appreciate what you were saying earlier.
Okay. Cool.
Shane,
Cool.
you sitting there, what's going on with you? You in the chat laughing and stuff. What's going on with you?
No, he just made that joke. Buck dancing and butter dancing.
Butter dancing.
The West Coast said it best. He said that's a smooth butter slide.
Butter slide. Yeah, you get some butter sliders out there.
You gotta be able to get your nice dress shoes on, get a little slide up there.
Yeah, I don't mind my Boscos that are smooth, boy. Yeah, okay, that's a smooth old Bosco, man.
Oh my God.
You got a nice little spin with a little tap dance.
Mm-hmm. Hey, when he comes to the club, he's like, "Hey, where the white women at?"
Lord. No, but I've just been chilling, man, doing my thing. Actually, don't have a candy gram, despite what y'all think. But not this time.
Oh, excuse me, bullshit.
You sounded like when you have to sneak in the bathroom, get that phone call, and she knocked out in the next room, and you all huddled up, and
I've had that happen.
And muffled.
Yeah, I can't cap. I had that shit happen to you, but
not this time. Okay.
But yeah, so I just been chilling, man, and it's funny that y'all been speaking about health, and like I said, I got much love and respect for all y'all on the panel. You feel me? Everybody in the chat that keep it 100, no doubt. Y'all just keep doing what you're doing. I've been a supporter from day one, man. I'm gonna be a supporter forever. Y'all showing love to me, so I show love to you. But to speak on the topic, I did a stream on this as well since I heard Chad, kind of kick the bucket. Rest in peace to the brother. But it's like, black people don't take care of their health. And the problem is we don't trust people like Nicole, and we want to backbite them like y'all was talking about. We really need to be sitting at y'all feet and soaking up game. And like people know that I be promoting the shit out Dr. Ali Muhammad. That nigga helped me. I could speak on my own. When I was following his plan, I was good. But when I got out that shit, I got fucked up. So we also got to understand that not everybody who's starting their own practice or starting their own gene lab or running their own farm or whatever, not all these niggas are scammers. That's a problem we have. Like, we can't distinguish who's a scammer and who's a real dude or real sister doing the real work. And that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I can't show it here, stuff I have, but I got I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 Excel worksheets open, with different things. I have to still analyze data.
Okay.
And I do this every day. Like the genes that I have, actually chromogranate A, I was talking about earlier, it's actually on one of the Excel sheets. I need to figure out, from what I can tell, the drug I used made the expression of chromogranate A go up in the cells, but the other drug used to offset the first drug, it did not significantly reduce the expression. So I need to repeat the experiment in a different way. And the only way that my go-to way to do that is to get a more consistent response from the drugs is to put the cells in 2% oxygen.
Okay.
So they basically are suffocating.
Yeah, in distress. Uh-huh.
Under extreme stress. If you were in 2% oxygen, you'd be dead in a few, minutes,
Yeah.
and very painful. But for the cells, these are cancer cells. So within an hour or so, they adjust, adapt, and they keep going.
Okay.
And a lot of damage happens to them during that process. But when you have cancer, you're in the same position.
Now,
You are
my question.
That's what I'm saying. When you have cancer, leukemia, when you have a very what is it, like extreme neuropathy, diabetes, some of these things, some of these pathologies, you have you can become hypoxic. That's very true.
Yep.
What were you about to say, Salchih?
And I wanted to ask or clarify that the source of the energy for cancers is glucose and iron, correct?
For me, I see glucose. I haven't done anything with iron.
Okay.
I've heard of things with iron, but I haven't done it myself.
Okay.
But yeah, glucose definitely is one.
Real quick, can you break down the differences between oxyglucose and glucose? Is that what you said, oxyglucose?
No, he said iron.
Oh, okay. Can you break down for the people who don't know why that's a problem with cancer?
Oh, because they're extremely energetic. They use sugars to continue to grow. And not only that, but the sugars protect them from drugs. And so drugs that are supposed to damage their DNA don't work. And to respond to the drugs that normally would damage their DNA, they use more and more sugar to put out amino acids that they can use for communicating between each other from one cell type to another cell type. So if I'm an epithelial cell and I need a lot of sugar, well, I'm eating all this sugar and I'm pumping out amino acids. They go somewhere. And they go to another cell type that's in the prostate or supporting the prostate gland, which would be fibroblast cells or nerve cells or something like that. Those fibroblast cells are going to be putting out all kinds of glutamine, glutamate, leucine. They're going to be putting out tyrosine, putting out serine, putting out a lot of amino acids. And those amino acids are for signaling. They can be for metabolism, but they're usually for signaling. Stress signaling, or we ain't going nowhere and you can't do nothing to us type of signaling, that type of thing. Like stand your ground signaling. That's what we call it. Standing our ground, we ain't going nowhere. So it's a protection mechanism, but it starts from the trigger. The trigger or the stimulus is a sugar, high sugar content. I said yesterday I was on Kendra's stream, they were talking about like I think it was Chinese food or something, like the MSG. Yeah. I just ordered MSG, 100 grams of MSG from a chemical company, to use on my cells. Like what they give you in the food at some of the places, like we use that on the cells, like we give it to the cells, glutamate. And
I believe you.
How it affects, the glucose TCA cycle. So we can do that analysis, do the sequencing and everything. But I need 100 grams because these cells eat a lot.
Like niggas. Niggas still.
They're greedy as hell. Like, I swear, y'all think I'm playing. Like, no, it's 100 grams. We need a lot.
100 grams is a lot. That's a lot.
Like 0.5 mgs per mil.
Okay.
0.5 mgs per mil.
Sound like some nigga cells.
It is. Yeah, with MIGs or Russian, one of the two.
Milligrams. Like that. Milligrams.
She just proved us that nigga has a cell.
But they eat a lot, and the sugar is also it's at its simplest form. They use it quickly. So the glucose is just already there. They break it down, as far as, well, you don't have to break that down, but they can use that glucose directly, or they can have a carbohydrate with a lipid, and use that, on the membrane. They can do all kinds of things. We already know from about 15 or 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago now, that these cells can rebuild their own plasma membrane, from
Jesus.
cholesterol. They can do that themselves. So if you give them a drug that damages the plasma membrane to try to kill them, they just rebuild it themselves. It's fine. Like they're like, okay, whatever. So these different adaptations we're seeing, and that's what those genes were that we were showing earlier. Salchih, when we were talking about those are adaptations. But if you have a doctor that's not gonna normally tell people about that, but about it, now it behooves you when you go to ask them questions. I don't care if you're going in there for, it's not for cancer. You're going in there and they're saying, well, God forbid, but they're saying, okay, well, your dad, he has stage 2 prostate cancer. Hey, what about these genes? I heard about these genes with, another cancer. How does that relate with prostate cancer? I do it. I be asking them all kinds of stuff. Like, what does this have to do with me? I'm asking them these questions.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and because it's me and they see my badge, they're like, oh, well, yeah, we expect you to ask that question because, what you do. But
shit,
don't really ask these kind of questions. I say, well, maybe they should. And I say, maybe they should. And you turn around and look at me crazy like I got 3 heads. I know it's something going on. I know something.
Yep.
It's not
they get mad at me when I do that shit.
Yep. So is it true? So because of your hypothesis, is it true that we don't die, we multiply?
This nigga.
We don't die, we multiply.
Look at it now. Yeah. I mean,
Negroes do mutate now.
Yeah. They do it in the manosphere. Shit.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm gonna end this soon, y'all. But
okay. All right.
I appreciate y'all coming here. And BGS, you ran away last time. Was there? I'm sorry if there's something that I said or something happened last time.
No. Oh no. I had to go because what was it? My grandson had said something. So no, I didn't run away.
Oh, okay.
No, baby. No.
I'm looking around like, what is going on here?
No. I had to click off because something was going on at the house.
Oh, okay.
It had nothing to do with you.
No problem. I thought that somebody said something.
No.
Like, who I gotta get now?
No. Your channel, I'd have checked them. Okay.
Okay.
I'd have brought the lightsaber out. No, it wasn't. It was nothing you did. No.
Okay.
Okay, just to let BGS know, I'm gonna start it in a few minutes.
Okay.
Cool. I will be over there.
I'm gonna start it in a few minutes. It's gonna be titled Black and Blue with at BGS. I'm using your BGS to bring some numbers. Come on, baby. You gotta be smart about this shit.
Yep.
Ask me all your police questions. I'll get my crystal ball and my wooden nightstick.
I told you that's what the Force Ghost is about. I said, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you know. So basically, I've multiplied myself. So.
Yeah, you got to see Crimson Cure. Yes, I know, but everybody has things going on. She said, not gonna lie, I wanted VGS to come on my panel yesterday. I wanted to express myself to him personally. He deserves the respect. I absolutely agree.
No. You guys, I said you guys are my people. So
already.
I try to spread the wealth.
I'm just gonna warn the motherfuckers. Like, if you fuck around and disrespect BGS, I'm gonna block you. Then I'm gonna fucking have you hacked, and I'm gonna go to your house with boot in hand and nightstick in the other.
Allegedly.
Sometimes
it ain't no allegedly.
How is that going to help mental health of these people? Maybe they need.
Well, let me tell you how it's going to help them. Because the gluteus maximus is connected directly to the cerebral cortex.
This nigga.
What? He's using these scientific words and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, because lately, like Serious Killmonger, man, I went back. He been trolling me, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna troll you back and see how it does.
He don't like that. He don't want that smoke, bro.
He didn't like it.
He's trying to debate BGS. That was funny. You gonna lose.
Everyone enjoyed this panel. Go down to see Nicole again, BGS and Charles. I haven't seen y'all in like ages, so it's kind of like
I appreciate it. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Well, just subscribe to the channel. You'll see me too. Subscribe to my channel. You'll see me too much.
Oh Lord, he'll be on
All
there.
right.
Yeah, if you don't want him to come to your channel and take over, subscribe to his channel so he can do it on his channel.
You niggas,
Either you're gonna see him on his or he's gonna come to yours. Okay.
you niggas love me still.
Hey, BGS, would it be safe to say?
I just have to hopefully, well, I know Topaz Presents is live right now. She's talking about the Black mind and things like that, and of course, very important things as always. And I appreciate her content.
Drop her link before you.
Drop her link.
Let's see.
So we know who she
Hey,
is.
BGS, would it be safe to say that?
Go drop your link too, Charles.
So what?
Okay, I'll drop it.
Who's speaking?
I want that. That's me, this Aaron. I was just playfully asking a question to BGS. Would it be safe to say that Charles's channel is Coliseum Part 2?
Oh no, actually,
no, that's art. Yeah.
That's Art of Itmore's. That's
Art of Itmore's
Part 2. Yeah.
Oh,
if we want the old Coliseum, that's Art of Itmore on Saturdays.
So I'm posting Topaz stream in there.
Okay.
Letting people know that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has good content on there, and I can't even lie. Like I was like, wow, because you assume a lot of times, and I think this is probably to what Aaron was talking about earlier as well, is a lot of times we go to channels and whatnot, and we're like assuming that we're gonna have certain content come from that person. No, like people have so many things that are important that they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, she was talking with Bunny one day about going to therapy and how that helped her and stuff. I was like, wow, this is really important. And it was like when I was sitting and listening to it, I felt like the what was it, that the Oprah days, like, she was like, well, how do you feel, talking to her. And I was like, I started to think about so many things, like this is what needs to be more popular. Stuff like this. And then the person might have 5, 10 people in there or whatever. And then it's like at live or something. And I'm like, okay, so definitely I need to support people more and promoting people more. I'm working on it, y'all.
Yeah, people coming to YouTube for therapy anyway. So
Yep.
It's true. Yeah, I have noticed that too. Yes. And I think that we can do a number two, second the second time we can do this, whatever, family health relationship. The second little, like, it'll be number 2. That's what it'll have, a little number 2 thing.
Okay.
Or part 2 or something. And we can do that. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. I would prefer sometimes if ladies would, come and everything, but I understand they may feel some way, and that's cool. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
But I would like to have ladies to come. Salchih, everyone up here on the panel, y'all always welcome. Everybody in the chat, you welcome, unless you're a troll, get kick rock.
You should have a requirement, Nicole. You should have a requirement for the ladies. I said you should have one requirement for the ladies. They must be feminine.
Well, I say be honest.
They
can be feminine and lie. So
yes, ladies.
I would say be honest, like, yes, because you're right. Being feminine sometimes is like, I can tell you lying, but being honest sometimes is hard for people, and that was a message I got from one of Topaz's streams. Is being honest is it can be hard for someone that's like used to cloaking themselves for so long, and wearing that mask. Yes, and it wears you down. It affects you physically and mentally. And she's like, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. And I agree with her on that. But I'm in this now. I see that Charles came back. He done switched outfits and stuff. Okay.
Oh yeah, you gotta get the good clothes on. It's Sunday night. You feel it tight. Just to let you know, just to let everybody know real quick, the link is the link I put in there. That's for the upcoming video in a minute or two. Okay. Gonna talk to BGS about law enforcement and current topics with law enforcement related. Right. So if anybody wants to talk or just talk shit, just come on. I got enough cigars and liquors for everybody. Come on. And it's always a pleasure. With my niggas,
already.
always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure speaking to the scientist supreme. Oh man,
Yeah.
and isn't she so lovely in that picture right there? Isn't she so lovely?
I say
Oh
she
man,
looks like Mariah Carey on her best day.
No, that was that. I thank you for that. I wasn't going for that. When I said it the first time, I was like,
with the hair flowing, yeah.
I was
Yep.
kind of
Hair
look
flowing.
crazy. Like,
Hair did, everything did.
Yeah.
she like, God damn, even my lip gloss popping.
Yeah. I know you catch it with white girls trying to touch your hair though.
No, I don't really, because right now, lately, I wear my hair in wrapped up in a scarf or something. Like
Okay.
I really do. Like or it's like twisted and put up. Like, people are not really trying to touch people's hair. But
I hope not. I got a problem with people touching my arms. That's the weird part. Like,
ain't that a bitch? Here we go. Here we go.
That's true. Like people out of nowhere, I'm not in my business. They're like, man, I just had to see if they're real motherfuckers. God damn.
I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna go over there to Charles. I got it up on my phone. You put that link in the chat again if you want to get everybody to go over there. Hey, back to the basics, Mr. Edward Hyde. How you doing? Des said anime. He said he started reading Dr. Marimba Ani's book, Yuruku. Says it's gonna take him a month to finish. So yes, that was the book we were talking about. I'll also be having hopefully if everything works out, the Nameless Protagonist back again this Friday coming up. Pretty early in the morning for me, but it'll be, what it is, and we'll go from there. What's going on, AB? And we want to talk about social dominance theory. A lot of things that have happened, not just, in reality out here in these streets, but on these YouTube streets.
Yeah.
You think like, hell yeah, okay, what is going on here? Things that we can look at as far as empirical data, the dealing with autonomy, with the Stanford prison experiment, things like that. So we're gonna hopefully have a good discussion. Hopefully,
and your betters, or I should say your managers, actually use this kind of stuff to actually set policy. So you think that this stuff is not important until you actually see it wind up in policy.
Right.
Yep.
That's you're right.
Yeah.
So last night we had fun over there at DJ Kuda. Everything was cool, but we got to have the cool, we had the fun, everything, and we get back to work, get back to business. So y'all coming here. If anybody wants to have final words, we'll do that.
I'll just say this real quick because I'm about to start the stream in a minute or two. It's always a pleasure. Always to hear your intellect, your femininity, and your shit talking. It's always a pleasure.
And your recipes.
Oh yeah, and her recipes.
Yeah, I gotta get with somebody on talking about that. I think it was who was it? Was it Melanie? I think Melanie earlier the other day we were talking about recipes. Yeah. Y'all go ahead. My bad.
All right. I'm getting ready to bounce. Check you guys later. See y'all next time.
All right. Have a good evening.
All right.
Nicole, this was a good one. I'm glad to see you again once again. And I'm glad you're still doing what you do. We need more black scientists.
Thank you so much for coming, Aaron. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Django, Aqua, Salchih, I want to say anything?
Y'all can go first.
Yeah. I'll say I definitely appreciate the stream. Definitely encourage everyone support our content creators, man. I mean, there's not a whole lot of them, at least that I think that are really putting out high quality stuff, from various parts of life. So I mean, if you don't have to go to Starbucks one time in a month, it's all right. You know what I mean? Because you're not gonna die. So I definitely appreciate your time. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Because your email is what is like a huge catalyst to me just pressing the button. Yeah. Pressing the button and starting this. I appreciate you through the power outage and everything going on here, all I can do is laugh about it. I can't really get upset. I just like, okay, well, it's life, and we keep moving, doing what we have to do. Just glad I woke up on this side of the dirt. One more time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything else y'all want to say, Shango? Shango, you
Oh
want to go?
yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go. So, quick question, Nicole. So, you a scientist?
Yes.
Oh, I know that. That's what's up. So, I just wanted to say, it was a good live stream for the time I was on and everything. I appreciate women like you. As Charles said, I appreciate your femininity. You know what I'm saying? You are a lioness, and keep doing your thing. And I will see you over at Charles' live stream in a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Good evening.
All right. Thank you for having me on, sis. It's always a pleasure. You guys on the panel and you, the host, they're always welcome on my joint anytime. I've been banned from streaming because I don't have the full plan yet because I had to pay some bills, but I will be getting the $20 joint, little something. But
Yeah, what's up? Yeah,
yeah.
either way, we got you. Don't even matter. We come over there. Y'all support Shango the Eternal. Make sure y'all better hit up his Cash App today, okay?
Appreciate
that Cash App. Hit that Cash App and see what's up. Like, cause you talk about really cool stuff over there and like stuff that really makes sense. And I'm very appreciative. I'm gonna put in the link because I'm about to head over to Charles. He got his little cigars and all cigars and cognac and all this stuff. And I'm gonna put there goes Shango the Eternal. There goes his channel right there. I put the link in the chat. But I appreciate you coming. Of course, this, like I always say, for any stream, don't matter what the stream is. Anybody listening, live or after it's done, don't matter any stream. We could always do a part 2, 3, 4, whatever. Y'all hit me up. So this, of course, is going to be a part 2 to this at some point. What's going on, Art?
Doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I'm definitely going to try to slide through if I can. I'll be busy too at the same time. But I'm going to definitely support y'all. Y'all hit up the sister's Cash App too. Like, she advocating for me, I'm an advocate for her. Go ahead, sub.
Yeah, thank you.
Hit the like, hit her Cash App up, support her so we can get some more goddamn scientists, man.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
All right, keep hitting these motherfuckers with these body bags, these intellectual blows. The best therapy is physical therapy when you put the mitts on niggas. But anyway, salute to y'all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You have a good night. Y'all in the chat room, I appreciate you being here. Once again, I apologize for the late start, but I think it was very fruitful and constructive dialogue that we had. Salchih, of course, he's always welcome. Everybody on the panel is always welcome to come back. Anybody in the chat that wants to talk is cool with me. Just hit me up in the email. You see it at the bottom of the screen scrolling. Let me know what you think in the comment section for anybody that's watching later on. And I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all have a great evening. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, or what's left of it. Because I know I will. I'm going to be with my family in a minute. So I'll holler at y'all. Peace.